relates to our topic today, but like I'm
Right.
surprised.
Is that why you're waving your arms around and jumping up and down?
I'm surprised that Microsoft hasn't made a Wii-style video for the benefits of Game Pass yet, because this is the first time that a company's pitch has actually lived up to what it's pitching.
100%.
Because
yeah.
okay, so for the listeners out there, I moved into a new house recently, so I have my Xbox Series X on my main TV. I also bought a controller thing for my phone, and I have a projector projecting onto the ceiling in my bedroom that I use to watch YouTube videos.
He's living the life.
Yeah.
Rate my battle station.
Yeah, rate my battle station. And I have my computer, right?
Right next to my waterbed.
So, yeah. And my shag carpeting. I got to say, so my projector, I hooked up the Xbox One X that I have just lying around because I didn't sell it. I replaced it with the
Project
Series X.
Scorpio edition.
Yes, thank you.
Collector's piece.
Yeah.
Yep. And I've been playing a lot more Xbox on Game Pass, and I gotta say, Game Pass is the best gaming product I think that a company has made
It's
potentially ever.
It's it's alarmingly consumer friendly to the point that if I were a competitor to them, I'd be shaking in my boots.
I almost don't even like when games come out and they go on Game Pass. I almost am confused when people when they sell them retail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like why? I mean, obviously not everybody has every console, everything
No,
like that.
I
but
literally live with people that forgot that something was coming to Game Pass day one, and they ended up buying it and then being like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
Like,
and to be fair, Back 4 Blood's coming out soon, and I was like, "Oh, I already have that."
Yeah.
Yep.
I almost pre-ordered that.
Yeah.
During the beta.
So I'm playing Psychonauts 2, right?
yeah.
And before I moved into my house, the housing market due to capitalism is fucked right now. So I was living with former guests, Matt and Chris Newdaboom, and I was living with them temporarily, crashing on a couch. I didn't want to pull my Xbox Series X out of the box, hook up my TV, all this stuff. So I was just playing Game Pass games on my computer.
There's gotta be a better way.
And on my phone. And then I moved into this house, and now I'm just like sitting downstairs playing Psychonauts 2, and I'm just like, oh man, I kind of want to go up to bed, but I'm not tired yet. So I turn off the Xbox, and then I turn on the Xbox One in my room, and I go play Psychonauts, and it's projected on my ceiling, and I went, I should start winding down. So then I put on a YouTube video on the projector, and then I switched to my phone and started playing Psychonauts on that.
It's all working as...
And then the next day, I'm like, I'm sitting at my computer, and I'm like, you know what?
People are going to think we're such shills right now.
You know what? I want to play Psychonauts 2 still. I'm making progress, but I don't feel like getting up. Luckily, I'm sitting at another Xbox Game Pass supported device, and I was like, oh no, Psychonauts 2 is like 60 gigs. I don't feel like downloading that. Oh, look, they added cloud streaming to the computer. So I cloud streamed Psychonauts until it was done downloading, and then I turned it off and switched to the downloaded version. Game Pass rules.
You're really living in the video game dystopian future they promised.
I'm like, it's like the bougiest thing ever, but like,
Oh, no, I know what you're saying with the Wii, though, I mean, and we'll get into this later today about pitch videos and unfulfilled promises, but everything, all of my experience with this stuff has also worked so well and intuitively that it's like, it almost plays with your expectations of how to trust stuff like that, so that when it does function, you're like blown away by it.
Yeah, and it's like, we've talked about this before on this podcast. I'm kind of a fan of the Forza series, but not enough to buy them.
Boy, do I have the service for you.
I liked Forza Horizon 1 a whole lot. And then I played Forza Horizon 2.
Because it was a subversion of the Forza
more of the
proper
same
series.
Didn't buy 3, didn't buy 4. And then 5 got announced, and I was like,
that was a red box series for me.
I'm not going to buy that. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't have to. And you know what? I never played 4, but I don't have to buy that either because it's on Game Pass.
That's what makes the Xbox showcases. Well, wait, is that what they're called?
Yes.
Okay. An interesting counter to the state of play. No, shit. The PlayStation showcases.
That's
I'm trying to
right?
I'm trying to get on my language right. And
They're all called showcases.
Are they? Okay,
Yes,
whatever the direct equivalent is.
The direct is also called a showcase when it's fucking E3 time.
My point is the Xbox ones are always funny because you're just watching games that you already own.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, we did an E3 episode. It was like every single thing at their press conference was Game Pass with the exception of like 3. It was like Battlefield, Diablo, and I think maybe one other. But it's just like you're already on board. It's just showing you what's coming soon.
I mean, like, perfect example, Stalker 2. Me and you were sitting there watching Stalker 2, and we're like, this looks
awesome.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Never played Stalker 1. I probably wouldn't buy Stalker.
I played a little bit. Came up on our THQ episode.
I probably wouldn't buy Stalker 2 if that was a PlayStation showcase, but guess what? Don't have to worry about it because I'm going to download it. I downloaded a game I can't even pronounce today that I've never heard of because it's on Game Pass and the picture was cool. It's like the days of like your parents taking you to EV Games or GameStop and you just picking a game based on the cover art. Mm-hmm. That's what Game Pass is now. Except there's no money involved.
It's all the tiles of just
you're just like, that tile looks cool, download. And then you play the game and you go, this sucks, and then you delete it and then you download another one.
And apparently on the developer and publisher side of things, they're pretty well compensated from what I understand. So
everybody wins.
Yeah, I guess this is our
every time
sponsored
this podcast is sponsored by the Nintendo Switch. Is it as good as Game Pass? No, but you'll buy it anyway.
I was about to say, like, subconsciously we're rooting for the little guy, and I was like, no, Microsoft is not the fucking little guy.
Microsoft is the largest company out of the 3, but you know what?
No, but
they earned it,
baby.
But
I think it was I don't remember what episode it was, but you said it, Austin, like it was like a year ago, where you're just like, it's already imprinted onto people that Nintendo can do no wrong and Microsoft can do no right. And that it's like, maybe we feel compelled to broadcast these opinions because Xbox is still, as a brand, kind of hated and respected.
Yes, and we'll get into that more later.
At least just opposed to the Sony and Nintendo. But
Phil Spencer, what I'm trying to say is Phil Spencer's my hero. I wish he was my dad. Sorry, Dad, if you're listening.
Well,
and damn, can he pull off a printed T-shirt?
It's true.
Yeah,
I want that Blair Witch shirt he had. E3 a few years ago. But I got a question for you guys. You ever wonder what the bottom of an avatar's foot looks like?
God, no.
No, not really.
Well, I do. Welcome to Hot Button.
That was a bad segue.
It was. I'm Randall Beatrice, here with Austin Blakesley.
Hello.
And Sean Chambers.
Hello.
And that infamous E3 fail means it must be time for one thing, to talk about Microsoft's Kinect, an extremely popular, yet extremely divisive camera peripheral first released in 2010 for the 360 during the height of the motion controller movement spawned by the Wii in an effort to bring a more accessible, more casual, and more physical crowd into the video game scene. Designed to register gestures and speech, it quickly became a pillar of the Xbox name. That was until one day when it quietly disappeared from the family, never to return again. So how did it come to be? What was the software like? Which uses did it have outside of the industry? And most importantly, where the hell did it go? Well, today we're not only going to answer some of those questions, but also provide our personal experiences with the device, along with our thoughts on perhaps what could have been different, and like what legacy do we feel it left on, like, you know, the culture surrounding it. So who's ready to wave, exercise, dance, and shout broken commands through our official Kinect-isode?
I am.
Yeah, me too.
I did a lot of research. Okay. So, plug right at the top. If you have not listened to our Xbox 360 episode, I recommend you do that. It's not necessarily connected, but it does kind of...
I see what you did there.
I did that on purpose. This picks up literally right when that one leaves off. So it is kind of a sequel, but it also isn't really that connected.
Okay. I mean, you were telling me, like, development started much earlier than I expected it.
So the Xbox 360 launched 1 year before Nintendo changed everything.
Uh,
On November 25th, 2005.
I'm gonna say fucked up everything for a little while.
You're ruining my joke. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Many people here, I'm assuming us three, me before I started researching this, probably assume that the Kinect was in direct response to the Nintendo Wii. And
it was in my intro. Yeah.
And the motion control craze that Randy mentioned in his intro.
PlayStation Move came out.
You're not wrong, but you're not entirely right.
Ooh,
what?
Yeah.
Right.
Don't tell me I'm wrong.
You see, Microsoft, like any tech
John,
giant...
how could you write that intro that I read?
What?
What? Well, because I was trying to make it sound like I knew more than I did.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Yeah, tell him.
You see, Microsoft, like any tech giant with an R&D department and billions of dollars, has a lot of people working on the future, you know?
Yeah, where's HoloGlass at? Or HoloLens.
HoloLens.
Sorry.
We'll talk about that later.
All right.
Microsoft also, and more importantly, has a lot of partnerships with these other tech giant billionaire companies, like Samsung, LG, and yes, even Sony.
Never heard of them.
Yeah. These partnerships allow
Like the Walkman guys?
Discman guys.
These partnerships allow these companies to get a sort of a peek behind the curtain in R&D and like see what they want to work with each other on.
You bring up a good point, though. There's a lot of handshaking behind the scenes.
Yeah, you guys are out there fighting each other over whether the PS5 or Series X is best. Guess what? They're working together on them, dumbasses.
No. You're both wrong. PlayStation's the best. Continue.
I'll fight you.
Okay.
We'll beat each other with our respective consoles and see who wins. I hate to break
mine's
it
too heavy to pick up. Can I use the controller instead?
Well,
yours is shaped weird. You're gonna draw.
Yeah,
it.
the Series X is heavier, but the Sony has blades on it, so you can stab me with the fins.
Can I get 2 GameCubes?
No,
the handles?
you got to switch.
Well, that thing is not gonna last.
No, the dock will break over my head and won't leave a scratch. But yeah, they meet up and they find out what each other is working on, and this allows them to strategize for the future of their various industrial sectors and figure out what partnerships they want to make.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these things are done in partnership. Like a lot of parts in the iPhone and the Android are all made by fucking Samsung. The screens are all made by Samsung.
You're telling me now they're working together?
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
But we're going to go back to that date I mentioned earlier. Actually, a little bit earlier. See, mid-2005. We're winding down development on the Xbox 360, but that's not enough. The Xbox team is doing some work to try to discover what they call the future of Xbox. Back in the development days of the Xbox 360, before 2005, one of the ideas that was being tossed around was a depth-sensing camera that could read the size of the room, who was in it, where they were, etc. But the idea was quickly abandoned because the technology for it wasn't quite ready. Not yet, anyway. They threw it in what they dub the Microsoft boneyard.
Whoa.
Yeah. They didn't scrap the idea.
What else is in the boneyard?
They didn't scrap the idea. It was kind of just shelved until the technology was ready.
Sure.
And this
maybe
is
they could have.
This is the point.
Kept it shelved for.
This is the point to emphasize that, like, as you mentioned, the HoloLens and stuff.
Yeah.
Microsoft, despite the success or failure, and we'll get to it, of the Kinect, Microsoft fucking loves depth sensing cameras. They love them.
Yeah, dude. Really?
The company is all in on them at this point in the R&D department, and we're not even like, the Kinect is not a twinkle in anybody's eye, but like the HoloLens uses, spoilers, the same technology that the Kinect use.
Right.
Those depth sensing cameras, they fucking love their shits over here. They think it's the
why
future.
That is.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I mean, I guess Sony prioritized 3D for a few years, so
yeah, and
Nintendo did too. Yeah. Hey, we got all our appreciation for Xbox out of the way, so we can now dunk on them for the next like 90
Stupid
minutes.
Idiots. Made so many mistakes.
So let's play a little guessing game here. Which of these, which tech giant do you think Microsoft would inevitably partner with to resurface these depth sensing camera ideas?
The Army.
Wow.
I think he's, based on the look on your face, he's right.
Kind of.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was trying to give
I thought you were going to say Samsung or LG, but sure.
All right, I'm gonna do a throwaway guess. Kellogg's.
Close. You're both right. It was the Frosted Flakes division. No. The Army. More specifically, the Israeli military.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Even more specifically than
Users
that.
of the P90.
Yeah. Even more specifically than that, while Microsoft was doing this brainstorming and visiting various companies, in 2005, all the way across the globe in Tel Aviv, Israel, 5 friends and former Israeli military soldiers were also doing some brainstorming. Note to those listening who don't know, not all, but certain Israeli citizens are required
Yes.
to do 2 to 3 years, depending on various factors, of military service when they turn 18. So this is just 5 people who were forced to join the military for 3 years when they were turned 18, and now they are math 22, 21, and they don't have anything to do with their time. On top of that, our friends, and I'm going to fuck these names up. I apologize to if we have any Israeli listeners. Aviad Meisels, Ophir Sharon, Alex Spunt, Dima Rice, and Tamir Berliner.
Those are some cool names, though.
Yeah, had recently finished their required military service. More so, their required military service in the research and development department for the Israeli military. All 5 had science backgrounds in either math or engineering or both, and were now unemployed. And just like any engineer who's unemployed, they decided rather than look for work, they're going to start their own company and change the world.
Hey, dream big.
And just like any big tech startup, what sector of the world do you choose to change?
I mean, us?
Video games.
Porn.
It's always porn or video
porn
games.
Or video games, yeah.
Yep. So they decided, what's the next big thing? Well, the next big thing is magic. Specifically, a technology that makes itself disappear. And they decided to focus on video games as their area of innovation, as they felt games had become too repetitive and samey, and it was the fault of the controller.
Oh, fuck you.
Thank God that somebody stepped in.
I hate to break it to you, but that attitude is going to keep coming up.
I'm going to get so angry throughout this.
I love controllers.
The group...
You know what's holding us back, man?
Instead of playing every game with the same controller, Randy, what if the human body was the controller? What if you were the controller?
I'm often referred to as a controller for myself.
That sounds
okay.
Bad.
Oh, no, I didn't interpret it that way. Edit that out.
As somebody who works with Randy on this podcast, he is very controllable.
I am not.
No, I was just thinking, like, into the future, it seems like this would be a great space for Nintendo to play around in. It's like they just send you a box of cardboard and then some mechanical parts. You could just build your own.
You could be the robot.
I mean, this might not, I don't know if you have this in front of you, but like, do you know what their experience with video games was, or if they were gamers?
They were gamers.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, that seems like a rhetoric from people who, like, I don't know many people who are into that as a hobby and are just like, this fucking controller or mouse and keyboard. If only I could.
If I could ask like 5 people, I don't think the first thing that they would say that they would change about video games would be the controller.
Would
but
be an input method.
But I don't know very
this
many.
This is a very engineer,
right.
entrepreneurial, but also engineering mindset where you're like, you know that problem nobody's ever had ever? Let's fix that.
Sure.
Cough, Elon Musk, cough. Sorry. I have a bit of thing in my throat.
I feel like I've heard that mindset applied to engineering.
Yeah. Let's go to Mars. Why don't we fix Earth first?
Now, if you told me they were trying to develop like plastic instruments or,
we'll get there.
Turntables, then I'd be like, ooh.
The group founded Tel Aviv-based company PrimeSense. Their focus was put on developing a camera that could sense depth, map a moving body from that depth, map a skeleton to that moving body, and then recognize gestures in your hands or fingers. Yeah, I got one too, but it's broken. I like my controllers to work.
That sounds cool, though. I mean, if you're erasing all thought of the Kinect from your mind right now and walking into it with that kind of blueprint, that sounds actually kind of dope.
All jokes aside, that is something that would sound super intriguing in the mid-2000s.
The pitch for the Kinect is better than the pitch for the Wii. To jump ahead a little bit, I will say that. But this is 2005. PrimeSense actually must be a bunch of smart guys because they got this up and running fairly quickly. I don't know the exact timeline, but even if we're talking about January 1st, 2005, they had a working prototype ready to show off at GDC in March of 2006. So
wow,
yeah, that was quick.
Pretty good. They took the prototype to GDC. They had a demo set up. They took meetings, and one of those meetings ended well. They left with a very important business card: Microsoft.
I wonder what those demos were.
Mike space Rosoft.
Yeah.
Not related to Microsoft.
You see, Microsoft, little did they know, because Microsoft, I think it was just like a general rep for Microsoft at the time. And he was just kind of like, interesting. Here's our card. Little did they know there's people at Microsoft who are fucking working on this exact same tech, and they're actually very impressed. So we're going to flash forward a few months, and our ragtag group of former Army engineers has a official private meeting set up at E3 of 2006 with Alex Kipman, Microsoft's general manager of hardware incubation, and also one of the guys who is into this depth sensing shit.
Making babies over there.
He's been working on it. Yeah. He was here to inspect the technology and see how it worked. And not only did he leave impressed, but both parties left impressed. You see, Kipman liked what he saw a lot, and these guys were onto something that even Microsoft was having trouble figuring out. And
they liked their money.
Yes, but also
were
they were very impressed because they took a lot of meetings, and he was the first guy that like got why they were doing this.
Well, were they just like, we're going to utilize this into our video game division? Like, was that always the priority? All right.
No. And yes.
Gotcha.
Microsoft saw applications beyond just video games.
Yeah.
But video games is a good incubation point for any technology. VR, motion sensing, anything like that. Because we're idiots and we will buy anything and fund R&D for the real world. You see, when you think about it, as gamers, we're heroes. That's what I'm trying to say.
So these guys
the most marginalized group, if you will.
So these guys were developing this for the intention of video games, and Microsoft was also looking for something like this for the intention of video games. So it's like
there's a lot of
serendipitous.
There's a lot of serendipity going on in this story. We'll get to more of it later, but Microsoft had an idea to put this in the 360 from the start, and they couldn't get it working. And then these guys got it working.
Oh, the Boneyard.
Yeah.
Right place, right time.
Yep. So, keen listeners may also note that I said E3 2006. Can anybody tell me what else happened at E3 2006?
Well, I mean, the Wii and the PlayStation 3 launched in 06, so...
The Nintendo Wii was officially revealed and not called the Project Revolution anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when we saw all those pitch videos of people playing Red Steel diving behind couches.
Got it.
Remember,
it worked on me. I'm so
remember we would
did
like
work
to play
on you. Red Steel.
Yeah.
Yes. You loved it.
Yeah, there's
you ate it up.
You get to see like the
face.
Metroid Prime one where the guy's like in a ball, and you're like, "What are you doing?"
Sony can fuck off for now. But yes, our pals at Nintendo had fully unveiled the little light box that would shake up the games industry for the years to come.
You said shake up. I think you meant to say fuck up.
Well, that's it.
Let's get it clean. Let's get it clean.
No, but here's the funny thing.
Take two.
You mentioned that. So the Nintendo's 2005 E3 press show where it was still called the Revolution. The controller was not presented yet at that point. Most of their
it was just the box.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so remember where is it Iwata that pulls it out of his jacket and is like, look how small it is, and like what they were spouting in 05 was all about online integration and like their backwards compatibility. And then when 06 came around, that's when they were like, this is actually what it is. So
yeah, fuck Metroid Prime. What about bowling? That was their pitch.
Yeah.
Yo, bowling was dope, though.
It was. When I say little white box, I'm talking about the Nintendo Wii.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's time for me to editorialize a bit. Because this is where I think that I'm going to fully admit that I'm smarter than these business folk. And I think we all are. Because when it comes to... Everybody gets lost in the weeds when it comes to this motion craze. There are a lot of quotes, and then we'll get to them a little later, but there are a lot of quotes that mention the Wii being played like it was in those commercials. You know,
very exaggerated
this
movements and stuff.
this is making people more active. It's getting people into the game, dude.
Yeah.
I played Wii tennis and Wii bowling and Wii boxing and Wii golf standing up twice, and then from then on, every time I used the Wii, I was sitting down. In fact, I never played Skyward Sword because they wanted me to stand up, and I don't do that as a gamer.
I mean, the way that you're
Goes against everything I believe in.
like the way that everything is actually being like, registered by the game is like remarkably simple, which is I'm sure played a pretty significant like factor into the Wii success. But you're right, and that all the advertising is what would lead you to believe it was.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it to them that their pitch wasn't off. That did happen with Wii Sports. I did play Wii Sports with my parents and my sister. My sister bought a Wii because of it. And we did jump around like idiots, I'm sure.
Hey,
but
I messaged you the other day that I have clients who still have their Wii's hooked up.
Yeah.
Like, it worked.
And I think it was part of their game plan and strategy almost, because it's like, yeah, it's video games, Mom and Dad, but it's active video games. So I'm not just a fat lord sitting on the couch.
Sure. But it's just like everybody ignores
Fancy toy.
Everybody ignores the red flags with the Wii. The fact that most people bought it, played Wii Sports for a couple hours, and then it collected dust.
Well, that's why the attachment rate was so low.
Yeah, exactly.
For the Wii.
No, the game's in there, right? The one where I can bowl and tennis?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, that's all I need.
Yeah.
Literally all I need.
Right, but like I said this to Randy when we were talking about this episode earlier, but like my experience with the Wii mostly was just playing games that controlled poorly, sitting on a couch the same way I would play a PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360.
Yeah.
They just controlled worse.
Right.
And looked worse and ran worse.
Because like you said, I mean, until
what did it do good?
Nothing. Until the Wii Motion Plus came out, and even past that, most of the inputs that developers used was basically a shittier mouse. You know, you point and click.
Yeah.
Or this
So
a waggle of the hand became a button press, essentially.
Yeah.
Or the shake weight motion.
Yeah, like
jerking yourself
I mean,
off.
that's becoming more
Like Mario
evident.
Galaxy.
That's becoming more evident now that they've been able to port games from the Wii. I mean, like you saw that in later editions of stuff like No More Heroes and most recently Skyward Sword. You know that it's like they could have mapped. It's not like that was the only way for the.
But back to the reason we're actually here. As we all know, the Wii blew up, sold like hotcakes.
Sure
and
did.
then
I wish mine blew up.
Mine did blow up.
Really?
I lost all the fucking virtual console games because they didn't have an account system back then. So
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to gloss over it. The Wii was the greatest retro game store, Nintendo retro game store to ever exist to this date still.
No, you're totally
But
right.
mine currently sits in the ottoman under my desk.
yeah.
How you gonna get those like Commodore 64?
Right.
Like
it's
Amiga
literally
games
like
on
a
it,
time capsule.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, as you guys have been saying, it changed the future of video games forever.
I didn't say that.
I didn't.
Yeah. So Microsoft and Sony, who I'm sure will cover their attempt at this in the future. That's an episode ripe for picking.
Mm-hmm.
Got to work on their answer to the Wii, to this motion craze. Now, what is the obvious answer for Microsoft?
Only Kinect.
Depth sensing.
No.
Right. There's just one problem. Tech still wasn't ready. Sure,
That'll do it.
That didn't. I mean, honestly, that didn't
You need to
stop Nintendo. So they still green light.
No, you don't like it when
Get
you
it
like
out there.
when you like hold your sword up or turn your gun sideways and it just starts spazzing
Yeah.
out.
So are we gonna just gloss over Wii Motion Plus, or
No.
this is the hardware addendum to the original release?
Yeah.
Here it is. It works better, kind of.
Better kind of.
Now, cameras have been tracking shit since the 90s. Hell, PlayStation already did this with the iToy
yeah.
in the early 2000s. And the Xbox team was also already doing this. You see, we're in E3 2006, a little after. You know what came out in like September of 2006? The Xbox Live Vision camera.
Yeah.
Right. Which was mostly a webcam to use a shitty version of Skype, but also they had some games like Totem Ball. You remember Totem Ball?
Nope.
Okay.
The only thing I remember about that was playing Burnout and Uno against people's nutsacks. And
that That was the primary use case, yes.
That was basically like an Omegle before Omega.
Yeah, or you could like take a picture of your cat, and then when you play Rainbow Six, it'll try and put the cat face over the human face.
Yeah.
They were doing stuff. They were moving and shaking. They're trying to apply it.
No, exactly. Yeah. I mean, the primary use case was like somebody Uno reverses you, and then you see them blow a line of cocaine on their camera. That was the primary use case. But it did some hand
wonderful.
tracking, and there were some games you could control with it.
Yeah.
There were also games like You're in the Movies or whatever, where you could like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
You dug that right out of the boneyard in my head.
Still, internally, Microsoft is the first to admit that was just them fucking around trying to get this motion sensing, their own motion
Yeah,
sensing.
it was like
off
the
the
thing
ground.
I thought sold like moderately
It did
well.
sell well,
Yeah.
and it was just a webcam, but that was part of the R&D for the Kinect.
Gotcha.
Right. The company, the Xbox Live Vision camera was planned already before the Wii was revealed, so that was not the company's answer to the Wii whatsoever.
No, just fucking around.
Microsoft internally was still looking for an answer to the Wii, and depth sensing wasn't quite ready, and so it was looking to them. Here's another quote. I don't have an exact quote, but a lot of them are quoted as saying that it was looking more and more like the Wiimote would become the new standard in the same way that dual analog had become the standard in the last generation, the PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube generation.
Thank you to Alien Resurrection on the PS1.
Yeah.
I think that was the
I say
first.
that a lot, yeah.
I think that was the first like dual joystick game, and everyone hated it at the time.
No, the first dual joystick game was Halo.
That wasn't.
They didn't make it. They didn't make any before it.
I'll have you know that Red Faction and Time Splitters came
When did Red Faction come out?
2001.
When?
Or before Halo, technically. Hey, I mean,
well, one did it, and one did it better.
When
Case
did
closed.
Time Splitters come out?
that was a launch game on PS2,
When did Time Splitters 2 come out?
2002.
Yeah.
Okay, three did it, and
it
one
also,
did it the best.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say that they also everybody took lessons from Halo afterwards, and
I played Time Splitters 1.
yeah, where the strafe and look are not quite
Yep.
what you would want it to be. I'm not disparaging Halo. It's
You
So-
better not.
just rustling your jimmies.
I'm gonna jump across this room.
I would never.
So, according to one Microsoft employee who was interviewed, by the way, a lot of the information I'm getting is from a piece. Should I have it written down? Hold on.
All right, while you're doing that, that gives me another opportunity to talk about the
Nope. I found it
GoldenEye
already.
and Perfect Dark. You can plug in two N64
Shut up.
controllers. That was still joystick.
Okay, a Polygon piece called
They did it first.
"All the Money in the World Couldn't Make Kinect Happen."
Wait, was this published?
2014,
Okay.
I think. As a Microsoft employee was quoted in that article as saying, they needed their own waggle stick or Xbox Wiimote.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
So Microsoft got to work on iterating on the Wiimote.
Like the worst feature.
And it turns out that the iteration for the Wiimote is VR, right? More or less.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. Yeah.
Like that's the kind of the final resolution of like what
first
the
person
Wiimote would
aiming
become.
especially.
Yeah.
And all the cursor.
But they got wacky with it. They like put fake Wiimotes inside Nerf balls and let you throw them at the TV, and it's like all bunch of wild fucking ideas. And guess what? None of them were fun because the Wiimote wasn't fun. But anyway, they toiled for 2 years, from 2006 to 2008.
Man.
Until...
Meanwhile, the 360 was going out there and getting successful with games played with a controller.
Well, was it successful enough, though? When you think about it. Then, 2 years later in 2008, a new employee would come into the company and dust off some of those bones from that boneyard. A man by the name of Kudo Tsunoda left EA, came to Microsoft, and while most of the teams at Microsoft were trying to make a Wiimote that didn't suck, which is an impossible task, Kudo Tsunoda and Kipman, who I mentioned earlier, and another new employee named Darren Bennett got to work on making an iToy that didn't suck. And they very brilliantly went with a show don't tell philosophy of design. They contacted our friends at Prime Senses, got a hold of their technology with the depth sensing, added in some voice recognition, and got to work making a bunch of demos that they could show off to Microsoft executives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, the technology, we're at 2008 now, the technology still wasn't ready. But it was ready enough.
Sounds like a theme.
This stuff was moving very quickly. So the technology was ready enough that they literally, part of their pitch, and this is in 2008, was to say that we think the technology will be ready by 2010.
How did they spell we?
Just with an E.
Okay.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Nice.
They were afraid that the like two dudes in the smart car were going to burst through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man and try to make them play Wii bowling.
I've had nightmares about this.
Yeah.
Driving up in their smart car.
And I don't have a lot more info on the pitch itself, but I'll say it must have been a good one, because after showing these demos and this future tech pitch that they had put together, the Wiimote team was gone. Those ideas with the Nerf ball were scrapped entirely.
All those people fired.
And our motion sensing project, dubbed Project Natal.
Yes.
After a city in Brazil that Alex Kipman is from.
Wait, hold on. Before we move further, it is pronounced Natal.
It is Natal. It's named after a city in Brazil.
Okay.
It is not natal. A lot of people get that confused because natal means like rebirth or whatever. But like, no.
I didn't even know that.
It's named after a city in Brazil that Alex Kipman, who's kind of like the OG Microsoft depth sensing guy who's finally getting his dream realized.
Because I thought they said Natal on stage.
They did. And it was greenlit at the end of 2008.
Real quick, I could just see these guys like walking in after they like have a good, successful future pitch and just looking at all the employees with the Wii Motion like developers and what are you doing with these guys? What is all this crap? Styrofoam or not styrofoam, foam? No. All of it. Gone. Them, gone. Just get rid of them. We're just going to go with just the camera.
They just walk into the room, pick up whatever Wiimote prototype they have and just smash it on the ground.
We're done.
Get out of our office.
Everybody's their own personal waggle stick.
Yeah.
50% of the population has an additional one. Get these guys out of here.
Figured it out.
Now, does anybody have any thoughts on how it might be problematic to develop tech that you're not sure is going to be ready by the time you're releasing it? Does that sound like a good idea?
No.
Oh, I'm shaking my head.
It's a great idea.
So it sounds bad.
So now we're in 2009 and development on the Project Natal is in full swing.
Yep.
But we're coming across a few major issues.
Okay,
Some
like
hurdles?
little hurdles.
Yeah, it's a giant hurdle, like mountains.
Like you got to climb over people's backs to get over.
When you have like really bad hiccups, you know, or you feel like you're gonna choke.
The tech is there, kind of. But the problem is
Gotta stop adding words after the tech is there. You got to get to a point where the tech is there, and then there's a period.
Yeah.
I don't know. Listen, I don't want to spoil the future, but I don't know if Microsoft ever got to a point where the tech was there. The Xbox 360 that this thing needs to run on, however, is 4 years old at this point. We're in 2009 now.
Hey, that thing held its own for a while.
It did, but it didn't hold its own because of its technical prowess. It was not the strongest console when it came out.
I don't have the clearest memory. Had there been an reiteration on the base
that's a good
hardware
question.
No, we'll get to that.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to remember
the
when
Xbox Elite.
Well, the Elite, but that was just more space, though.
Yeah,
like the
out.
form factor.
I'm so used to that now. I'm like thinking back, and I'm like, wasn't maybe?
No, the Xbox.
They had that one that looked like an Xbox 360. That was an Xbox One, I think.
Oh yeah. No, that thing is like I still forget that
what
exists.
What family does that belong to?
No,
that for?
The Xbox Elite console is out.
They had to get rid of those memory
Also,
card
the
slots.
arcade edition is out.
That's what I had.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a cheapy boy.
Yep.
It was 4 gigs, 20 gigs, and 60 gigs, and then the Elite jumped it to like 320.
I think it was 120. What a time, though.
Yeah,
The Elite was 120, and the one you're thinking of was 250. The
Okay.
Slim,
Oh, yeah.
the Slim was 250.
But there were 3 additional, or like
There were two versions.
Release
There were two versions
versions?
of the Slim. There was the arcade edition one.
oh yeah, that came with an actual like memory card or something.
It didn't even
No,
come
that
with a
was
memory
that was
card.
the arcade edition.
Okay.
Yeah, my
I'm
arcade
talking about
edition still go.
There was a 4 gig Slim and a 250 gig Slim.
Oh, okay.
But
Games are smaller.
Yeah,
back
yeah.
then.
But no, we're talking about that. We're talking about the 2005 360. The demos were being developed. The demos that greenlit this project were being developed on computers that were better than the Xbox 360.
Right. Yeah.
So a
Always a good
lot of
idea.
work, a lot of adjustments, a lot of tinkering, and even changes to the camera tech had to be made to get this thing to work with a 360. One very important change that will become a huge issue for most of the development of the Kinect is that, Project Natal, wink, is that the cameras had to have lower resolution in order for the 360 to process the image.
144.
What was the resolution?
I think it was 480.
Stepping up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
so.
You're probably thinking of the Vision camera. That thing was like.
I'm just thinking of
That
the
was like-
lowest
That was
resolution I
like
can think of.
240.
Yeah.
The experience was still going for the Wii market of people.
Was it?
And so the software for the console needed to work for everyone. Because we're trying to get grandma off the couch. Right?
Yeah,
I was
get
gonna
those
say,
old
define
bones
that, man.
moving.
Yeah.
Come on. Your
Get that
body's the
arthritis
wiggly-
a pumping, you know what I'm saying?
you look so sad on the couch, Grandma. Just get up. You know.
Get up and
Yeah.
kick the kickball.
Yeah,
God.
Twerk to this Beyonce song in Dance Central.
I know if you fall over, it'll be fatal.
Yeah. Get off your walker and interact with the tiger on screen.
Now.
The company's design mantra for the Kinect was that it needed to be as fun to watch as it was to play, that it should be easy to start, and that it should work for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
but I already know how
Yeah.
that.
Lastly, the Wii and the Kinect are very different pieces of hardware. You see, the
True.
Wii is that the classic Nintendo Magic bullshit, right? Like, the Wii is the sensor bar, and the sensor bar is looking for two
Or two
IR.
candles, depending on.
Yeah, it's an IR blaster that's
Yeah.
putting out infrared, and that infrared is being read by the Wiimotes and then being sent back to the console.
Right.
Very simple.
Basic almost.
You don't need the most space you need
Low
is that
effort.
you don't punch your own fucking TV when you're playing the
That
Wii.
still happened.
Oh, man.
It still happened, but that's the most space you need.
We
However,
all had Wii's before. They had the straps, right?
however,
Yeah.
the
Or the
Kinect,
condom. Sorry, the Wii condom.
you don't have sensors that the Kinect can read,
You are
except
the
for your
sensor.
skin. Your skin
So
is
it's
the
my
sensor.
Feeling very Terminator right now.
Yeah. So you need a whole fucking room. And this Kinect needs to be able to see the whole fucking room. And that's an issue because it turns out that not everybody has a fucking mansion with a giant living room.
Oh, I thought you were going to say not everyone has the same skin tones because I know that also became.
We'll get there.
We're gonna bring this up later
So-
too, but I remember like having the Kinect, and that was the big problem. He's like, move the coffee
Mine
table.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lived in an apartment, you know.
Hey, lighting is still an issue with fucking VR,
Yeah.
even in 2021.
But this isn't a thing Microsoft ignored, or at least they tried not to ignore it. Okay. Microsoft's senior product planner, Richard Velasquez, traveled all across the globe from the East Coast to the Midwest, to the South, to the West Coast of America, and then over to Japan
so is he checking
and
out like
Korea
apartments and
Aus-
homes and like
yes,
okay,
and Australia, and then up to Europe and over all the way across Europe, and then back to Seattle.
Hey, say what you will about the Wii. They knew how to make that like at least function equally if you were in a closet or if you were in the pitch videos where it's like
Well,
a
but
mansion.
that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
because it's not much is going on. with
Right,
the
yeah.
Wii.
This dude's making house calls. In
Yeah,
the spirit.
he
of
is
technology.
literally-
throwing out coffee tables. From
He is
coast to
literally
coast.
like going into areas and being and like I don't know how he did it, posting on forums or something, and being like,
just with a tape measure.
"Yo, are you a gamer? I work for Microsoft. Let me into your house so I can take some pictures and measure shit." Yeah,
Survey.
yeah,
What you got? Let me see your home setup.
Does he have like the tripod thing? with
yeah.
the-
I think so.
Oh,
The
wow.
most extreme version of Rate My Battle State.
Yeah.
I'm
They-
sorry. I'm afraid your dwelling is not Kinect ready.
So
we will be banning you.
Your profile's already been listed.
In association with their mantra of it needing to work for everyone, combined with the fact that the resolution is getting knocked down day by day on this thing
1p
to work
at a
on
time.
the aging 360. So this guy is going around. He's taking pictures of people's living rooms, measuring shit, seeing and like watching them play the Wii and seeing how much space they need for that, and like watching people move coffee tables out of the way in order to get the Wii to work, and
just like making passive comments. That sucks.
Yeah,
move that.
Yeah,
I can design around that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's taking videos and pictures and measurements and sending all this back.
Don't you wish you could talk to it?
Sending this back to the. I don't want to talk to my Wii. Sending this back to the engineering team.
Kill me.
And this led them to what is the most controversial and expensive decision that the team would end up making. The Kinect would need to have a motor in it. And it would need to sense you and track you around the room and move on its own because it didn't have a wide enough. Yes.
Does it have auxiliary power?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny if it had
it had separate power.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 360 one did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, I mean, the Xbox One was.
You just pick it up and it starts shaking in your hands.
This motor is not cheap to add in. It had to be added into every unit. In addition, software would need to be made to actually track people around the room and have the motor move. And in addition to that tracking software needs processing power, which is already in very short supply when it comes to the Kinect in the Xbox 360.
They had enough issues with those things red ringing.
Yeah, overheating.
And here's where we get to the thing Randy's waiting for.
Ooh.
Another big problem, QA testing. Microsoft brought in Richard Irving, program manager, to supervise turning this prototype into a product. The product needs to account for room size and height, sure, but also ethnicity, body type, weight, accents, what clothing you're wearing, and a whole bunch of other variables.
The little things.
Yeah.
Wait, why does this thing need all this information?
A developer at Microsoft was quoted as saying, early data was collected from volunteers who worked for Microsoft.
Just didn't all look exactly the same.
A bunch of white guys.
Jesus.
But we need to broaden the QA testing of this thing, so employees were encouraged to take the Kinect home with them and test it there.
When your work, regardless of product development or not, when your work tells you to take home a camera and stick it in your living room, I'm gonna be cautious.
Hold on, that'll come up.
Security concerns.
Jeez.
No. So employees did take it home. One tester found that the Natal could not track his wife because she was a tall, slender Asian woman.
Whoops.
And I know what you're thinking, skin tone, like you said. Yeah. No, it was because she was too tall and too slender, and the skeleton was made for broad-shouldered white programmer guys.
And what's the ceiling for
the skeleton was too thin and it was colliding with itself, I assume.
What about with kids? Like, I mean, this.
You're jumping ahead.
All right. I'm getting pointed
Thanks,
at.
Jim. Thanks for bringing this back. This is very useful research. Say thanks to Mary for me and her Slenderman figure. This is really going to help development.
Also, it turns out that we didn't once develop this for anyone under the age of 35.
Another tester found out the voice recognition could not keep up with his accent as he was not native English speaker.
What an asshole, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
read a book, idiot.
Learn to speak English in America, am I right? The dude from the cheesesteak place. Another found that tracking could not work.
Regional.
Could not work on his pregnant friend.
Okay.
Because it was tracking. Well, I guess it was too good because it was tracking two separate people.
Cool.
Which I guess it was tracking the fetus.
What if she didn't know she was pregnant, and then when that IR camera came on?
Oh my god! Why didn't you tell me? The whole marriage is ruined. You're hiding the secret. It's not mine, is it?
Yeah.
Get out. Double heat source.
And to Sean's point earlier, in addition, a memo had to be sent out to all of the testers to tell them to stop playing it naked. As as the Kinect was taking pictures and sending them back to the development team.
Man. Oh yeah, let me just get stripped down and start doing jumping jacks in my living room.
You're working
in front
up
of
a
this
sweat,
work camera. Oh, he's probably somebody's just looking at it. Does this make it look bigger? Not really.
I imagine being the Microsoft employee back at home base that gets the, that collects all the pictures and just like, oh god.
So how long is Jim's
dick.
suspension? What do you think?
Then they email him back. You should get that mole checked out.
Yeah, it's not looking too healthy.
Okay, and on to our last problem for now, but possibly the most important problem. The thing needs to be an actual product. You see, the cameras that PrimeSense had developed that this whole thing is based on were cameras. Cameras, this is 2009. Cameras are small, but they're not that small yet when they have all this tech in them.
Yeah.
These were big cameras from 2006.
Funny to look at that now
cameras that fill a whole room.
Yeah.
Like a surfer.
Just a giant lens.
Yeah, you have to change the vacuum tubes in the cameras. In addition to fitting in multiple cameras, because the Kinect has like 3 fucking cameras in it, you also need to fit in a microphone array that can hear people from different distances. You need to fit in this motor we've been talking about. And on top of all of that, you need to put this into a package that is designed to look cool enough that people will just leave it in their living room, right? Like
under their TV.
Yeah, it's gonna be there. The idea is for it to be there forever and be right out in the open.
The initial Kinect, was that like the PlayStation camera, and that there were options to go above and below the TV, or was the Kinect always built with like?
No, there were options to go above and below. I think
that was also the Switch sensor bar too, right?
Oh yeah, I mean that thing was so tiny, or the Wii sensor bar.
Yeah,
except it would just fall off.
What did
TV.
I say?
You said Switch, but I do think it had little sticky like.
Yeah, I'm
sort
still
of
trying to scrub that memory from my mind.
Mm-hmm. Or you could just point it at a fireplace, like you said.
It's true.
Yeah.
But you bring up a good point though, in that you're meant to leave that out. Like it's meant to be attractive in an entertainment center. Yeah.
In addition to being functional,
and to fit in a box on the shelf at Walmart, like
and on top of that. On top of all of that, this needs to be produced at scale, and it needs to be priced at a price that people will fucking pay money for it.
Yeah.
Oh, the dreaded price.
Yep. The team had to build an entire manufacturing facility made to test the manufacturing process for the Kinect until they could get it right and move it to their main manufacturing facilities. At this time, Microsoft was also bringing in teams from all over Microsoft. This was no longer an Xbox project. The Bing team was brought in to work on voice recognition.
What else are they doing?
Yeah.
All 5 of you, get over here.
Yeah. Research and development teams, manufacturing teams, all from all over the company. Microsoft is all in on the Kinect. This is not just like more of the company is working on this than was working on the 360.
Jeez.
Yeah. Now, that is all information that I gleaned from a couple articles. I kind of got lost in the timeline of the dev, so we're just going to say this is all happening throughout 2009. But we're going to reground ourselves because
under our TVs,
as far as we're aware, the thing is for the most part working, and for the most part they can manufacture it. So what's the next step? You got to show it to the people.
Yeah. All right, this is what I'm ready for.
E3 2009.
Yeah.
After a bunch of very awesome non-Kinect related games, including but not limited to Halo 3 ODST, Alan Wake, Beatles Rock Band, Forza 3, Splinter Cell Conviction, Shadow Complex, Left 4 Dead 2, and Metal Gear Rising.
Jeez.
That's a stack conference. Mm-hmm. So how do they
their cherry
follow
on
that
top?
Up? Yeah.
Here you go.
We are shown a trailer.
Yes. And full disclosure, we all just watched this before recording.
The trailer starts with promising a new way to play. No controller required.
I think I said it started with Wolf Mother.
No, it didn't start with Wolf Mother. Wolf Mother comes later.
Okay.
Now there's a reason why I made you guys watch this. I want you to go through and tell me the stuff that you remember. You just watched it probably about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
You're as sharp as a tack. You should remember everything. I'm gonna miss like 4 things. I feel like. Let me go first. You
okay.
I want to see what you bring up first. I want to see what sticks out in your head.
All right, upper class family that collectively likes to play and watch single player games together. It starts off relatively believable in that it's just a lot of like, it shows the vocal recognition stuff. They're like, hey, it knows each member is the family's unique voice. Yeah, there's like a samurai game, and then there's like a racing thing, and then it doesn't like truly go off the rails till the back half of it, because one of the features they introduce is the ability to scan real-world objects to be therefore used virtually or digitally. I guess they're trying to show off the multi-use, it starts off being focused on video games and then pivots to being more of a
lifestyle.
Yeah, like a tool for the household.
Yeah. Oh god.
Including
it all started with that, huh?
Instantaneous like Skype call, like high quality Skype calls where people are in real time. I guess they're using it for like shopping, but having like
virtual wardrobe.
Yeah, their character models in where they're dragging and dropping outfits. Like even the game aspect of it also kind of loses a bit of its realism when characters when the actors keep coming in and out of the frame and shot to interact with the game. It all appears very seamless, but and then just the pitch around it is very much constantly hitting over the head of just like, you are the controller and you know, and your voice is the.
Yeah, so you remember anything he didn't mention?
Yeah, I mean, start to finish, it's just it's a presentation of bullet points.
It's punchy.
It's body recognition.
Yeah.
Like whether it be arms for steering or hands for punching, because it starts out with that kung fu thing.
Yeah.
And then
where the character on the screen is like addressing the child.
Right. Are you ready for your
like his Xbox
lesson?
and TV are on, and this kid's like got to go to school, and
then after it does it introduces the body recognition, it does voice recognition, and then it does.
No, you're right. They work small, and then
facial
recognition,
yeah.
and then it started going off the deep end where it was like scanning the skateboard.
Yeah.
And it was superimposing that into the game, and then it was
a game
girl.
that looks so much like Skate that it's like infringing on some patents.
It's almost definitely it was like everything about Skate. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was up until, and then it got to the end where it was like that virtual wardrobe where the girl was like, "What are you gonna wear?"
Yeah,
and she's like scanning with her finger.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So let's go down a list of bullet points.
Okay, I'm curious if we missed anything. I think we got it.
Guy does karate. Bad guy talks to him. Got that written down. Girl plays racing game.
Mm-hmm.
Pulls into the pit, and her father, I assume.
Yeah. Jumps in front of the screen.
Jumps in front of the screen to change her tires.
Dads love tools.
Yeah. Kid plays a little off-brand Godzilla and swats at airplanes.
Yes.
Looked like shit. I don't know what the fuck that was.
Two women play a soccer penalty kick. One is the kicker, the other is the goalie.
Thus showing that split screen, like that two people can use it at the same time.
Kid scans in a skateboard into the game and then plays what looks like a shitty Tony Hawk ride and jumps around like a lunatic. Note, Tony Hawk Ride was also shown during this conference.
Yeah. I want to cover that someday. I watched a video on it.
Facial recognition login is shown. Then a Skype call occurs between two women. Women B asks woman A if she found a dress yet. Woman A says no. So then they bring up a carousel of dresses, pick one out, and drags it onto a character model of herself to show what she would look like in the dress, which is insane and would never work.
She's like posing and turning around. Yeah.
Then it shows two families competing against each other in what looks like 1 vs. 100, but like a shittier version, or like Family Feud.
Oh, right, yeah. All right, sorry, I did forget one.
Because they were using their hands
as buzzers.
Like a faux buzzer.
Yeah.
And not a very exaggerated movement, like a pretty, like,
well, that was the one thing when listeners can't see
like,
this.
It's an online experience.
When the girl's driving the car and she has to shift.
She shifts gears.
She goes like that, and I was like, Kinect would never
not a
recognize
chance.
that.
No way.
She does it
hell,
for those of you that can't see me. She does it like a split second. I was like, that would have to be much more exaggerated movement for Kinect.
Also, her every other relative of the household is behind her, like leaning,
their whole
like,
body.
Yeah.
How much of the arm is doing the steering and just not your body?
Then we finish with an old couple who's using what I assume is Netflix or Microsoft's own video store to watch
Yeah.
movies. Then they say goodnight, Kinect. Then the tagline comes up: the only experience you need is life experience.
You are the controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were Netflix
And Joker and the
chilling
Thief
after that.
is playing the whole time.
For most of it, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's like a more of a twinkly
Yeah.
song at that.
So then this video fades out. Guy comes on stage and says dev kits are being sent out right now
to like other developers
for Project Natal.
Okay.
Then our boy Don Matrix on stage. He comes off and he spouts all his talking points off. It's awkward. But the more important thing to note is that it is very lofty. There's a lot of flowery language about how video games suck ass and like this is going to change that.
Right.
Like,
yeah, you were talking to me about this.
And like and then our boy Steven Spielberg's on stage.
Noted video game representative. Well, technically, I mean, he's had history, I guess, producing Medal of Honor. I don't know how much of like a direct role he really had. But Boom Blocks was when 2008.
Yeah,
Kinect is going to turn your life into a real life movie.
So Steven Spielberg spends.
Meanwhile, Xbox is like killing it with all these other games that just like showed up.
Spielberg spends a little bit shit talking controllers like everybody else is doing. However, I think Steven Spielberg, out of everybody in this entire episode, makes the best pitch for this thing.
Okay.
Because he is talking about, he's obviously coming at it from the point of movies. And he's like,
he's in the movies.
He says 60% of households have a console in them. And he thinks that the reason the other 40% don't is that controllers are not bad. They're just too intimidating. Dual analog controllers are too intimidating for grandma.
We've probably known family members that at some point
so in order to get those other people in and make games as approachable and easy to access as movies or television, we need to remove we need to remove the controller. So you're essentially the Steven Spielberg's pitch for Kinect, which I think is the best one, is that you when you say, "Hey grandma, let's watch a movie together," or "Hey mom, let's watch a movie together," you just walk into the living room, sit down and watch it. So his pitch is, let's play a game together. You just walk down in the living room, sit down and play it.
Right. What if grandma's mutant in a wheelchair?
Well then put her out of her misery. I don't know.
Or mutant.
No, mutant,
in a wheelchair. I was like,
Jesus.
I was confused for a second.
He's like, do her arms work?
No.
Or she has one of those wheelchairs where you blow in a tube. Because
it's getting a little far.
Yeah, I don't mean to be ableist, but I'm just saying, like, grandma in a wheelchair can still play Kinect. It can still recognize her hands.
I can't get over the idea of Spielberg coming out and goes, you know what I didn't have in my hands when I was directing multi-award-winning films?
Yeah.
Some stupid piece of plastic with buttons on it. Just like mocking all the gamers.
Like really like shitty.
Hey, guess what, guys? You've been doing it wrong this whole time. Okay? I hate to break it to you, but you guys are just bad.
I made Boom Blocks.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
So.
But I'm like, here's the thing though. There's a kernel of truth to that joke in that he was into motion control. Like,
of course.
Yeah.
And he's not wrong that in a perfect world where you could play a game by just walking into the living room and swiping like this.
Sure,
that's a good pitch. Unfortunately, as we'll come to learn,
I mean,
it was a little bit worse than that.
When I first played VR,
I
was blown away, and it's funny. It's because they're not that far separated.
No, there's some parallels.
You know, because obviously the screen's like 2 inches from your eyes, and it's attached to your head, and you got two things in your hands. But what they were aiming for is just kind of to strip away the hardware. You know, obviously with them killing the team, literally murdering everybody as part of the Wiimote, like creation.
They just went into the boneyard.
Yeah, they threw them in the boneyard. Throat slit and everything.
So Steven Spielberg leaves the stage. Don Matrick does an awkward outro, as he's wont to do.
Yep.
And then
took the words right out of my mouth, Steven.
Yeah.
God damn it, he really did.
Yeah. He's like, this is what I've been saying. Controllers are bullshit. Dude.
I didn't need to have him to say it, but you get the point.
Yeah. And then our friend Kudo Sonoda comes on stage, gives his pitch, and then a little bit of a demo of the dashboard. And this is where the infamous You want to know what the bottom of an Avatar shoe looks like? Bam! There it is. Linus from in what might be the first.
It's very unfortunate.
The first bit of first-hand reporting we've ever done here on Hot Button. I met Kudo Tsunoda.
Yes,
and asked
I was
him
going to
about.
bring that up.
I asked him about this moment. He gave me a
wow.
free Kinect game, because he laughed it off. He laughed it off.
No,
he was just like,
good sport about
whatever, man. The Kinect's out, and I was like, cool. He's like, it's funny in hindsight, you know.
Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking being on stage, but
Become a
whatever.
human meme. I can only imagine.
Thanks for making me relive that trauma.
But
you jerk. Take this disc and get out of my face, kid.
It almost
But-
reminded me of the I don't remember which. I guess this had to be 2010 or 2011 with Skyward Sword when Shigeru Miyamoto, like that demo broke on stage and it was very uncomfortable. I mean, at least this was a very quick. Like, I mean, it's like seconds long.
There's a lot of variable. There's a lot of interference on those stages.
Yeah,
and, like,
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But
And also, like, whatever. But
sure.
shout out to Kudo Tsunoda. I think he still
you
works.
said he was a cool ass dude.
He still works at Microsoft. That dude fucking rules.
Yeah.
He wears blue blockers everywhere. It's awesome.
Nice.
He's got like a beard and he just like wears a hoodie and he's just like, "What's up, dude? Making games? That's cool."
Wait, what Kinect game did he give you? Steel
It
Battalion.
wasn't Connectimals, was it?
No.
This had to be after the.
Yeah, this
That
was like
first wave.
2012.
No, I was Connectimals was a purple box game. Remember that?
Well, I think
Remember
I think
when Kinect
that initial batch they.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they were.
That must have
purple.
been- that
purple
might
or
have
like
even been-
gray boxes. It was. Yeah.
I think it might have been like Kinect Sports Season 2.
Is that when Rare was?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
I love Rare.
But then we get a dashboard demo.
Oh, is this
From
just
him?
them like navigating?
Yeah, you swipe and then
Yeah.
what the avatars look like, and you can track them. A 3D breakout demo that would inevitably become a part of Kinect Adventures.
Okay.
We get a painting demo where like 4 people.
Wait, do you mean breakout like?
Yeah, you have to make
like
the
Atari-
shapes.
No.
No.
No, am I
No,
thinking of a
that's-
different game?
Yeah.
You are thinking of a different game.
That's
This is
the
literally,
two-
it's the one where
it's Arkanoid.
they're standing at the other end of a hallway and there's a bunch of bricks
Oh, it's
and
the
they have
it's the 3D Pong.
yeah.
That's what.
Oh,
They
these
have
are.
to hit kickballs
Oh,
at the
3D
wall and break
okay.
the bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like that Japanese game show where you
No,
had
that
to make the
that
shape.
was also
That
a
was a
Kinect
game,
thing,
yeah.
but
Okay,
yeah.
I'm just confusing them.
Then we get a painting demo where a dude paints an elephant and he shows off that you can like,
Does it look like tilt brush or something?
yeah, kind of. He's like, you can pose and like make a stencil and then like 3 people come out and they bring pillows and then they like lay on the ground and look like an elephant. It's weird. And then
I have no idea what. You're
That's a
talking
creative team. Like they're
Yeah.
only ones that are going to utilize that are a creative team.
the audience loved the elephant though. So,
Of course they did.
Oh,
yeah.
What?
And then after the painting demo, Kudo leaves. And who follows?
about. Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
That's right, Peter Molyneux.
Oh, this is Milo.
Peter
Is it?
Molyneux.
Which this shit is way worse than that Avatar.
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
It's like a.
Peter Molyneux comes on stage. And
He's
he
been a
puts,
regular character of this
he
show.
puts Steven Spielberg and Don Matrick and everybody else to shame. He shits on controllers.
Really?
He's like, yo, bro, we've been held back for years by these fucking buttons.
Was he
Fuck
actively
this
working
shit.
on like Fable 2 at the time?
Fable 3,
Or
yeah.
Fable 3? Yeah.
He's like, controllers are stupid. I've always said that. They're dumb. Nobody likes them. It's like, I could show it to you, but the way he's just like, we've been held back for years with these fucking buttons, man. It's over now, dude. We can do so much shit.
I feel like I could pull a line out of his whole presentation. We are here to expand the limits or just break the limits. I just feel like the word limit or limitation is in his presentation in some
All right,
capacity.
hold on.
That might be like the darkness from Kingdom Hearts.
It's
It just has to keep bringing it out.
It's commendable that he like wants video games to be respected in this grander way, but that is a strange,
I mean,
like.
am I overstepping
to
saying
do it.
that dude shoots more blanks than an impotent man?
I think so, yeah.
Is that? Am I overstepping?
Oh, do we have a clip?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, I want to just say one thing to you, and that's the word interactive. Surely we've been making interactive games for 20 years, haven't we? Or 30 years? Well, no, I don't think we have. Because that thing in our hands, that thing that's evolved in our hands and got more and more complex and got more and more buttons actually has been the biggest barrier.
Oh, barrier.
what we wanna
Another
create.
word for limits.
Because what we want to create is a connection to our worlds. And that's what I believe Natal does. And if you leave with anything today, then leave with this thought. What designers and what this industry does with Natal will change the landscape of games that we play. Anyway.
We got rid of all the workstations at Lionhead and just replaced them with Kinect. All the games are being developed through motion.
So all of our workers use their bodies to work. So you're going to use your body to play. Yeah. I'm sorry, I completely forgot his accent. Yeah. He just makes it so much more pretentious.
I know.
Now,
his nose is up so high. Yeah.
Unintentionally.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know the infamous Kate and Milo demo that follows that clip,
so creepy.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
No.
Well, I'll show it to you later. But
Okay.
we're not going to talk about it because
Oh yes. Okay.
I am going to do a separate episode entirely on this.
Ooh. Yeah.
But here's a shorthand
Keep it in the
version for you. In the meantime, it's about a boy named Milo, who can he can read your body language and ask you questions. You can respond to him. You can ask him questions. He responds to you. You can draw macaroni art and show it to him, and he'll be like, "Wow, good job." It's
having a virtual child.
It's like Seaman or Hey You Pikachu, but on crack.
Yeah. No, that is a good way of
It sounds like a weirdo personality test.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot more to it than that. And we'll get to it in a separate episode because there is too much shit to include in this episode on that one demo alone.
Yeah.
It is insane.
I'm so glad that I don't
such
know
a fucking lie. Okay.
I get to learn about it all brand new.
Now, okay. These BuzzReels and tech demos are all fine and good, but Microsoft is launching a new type of controller. And this requires a new type of game. So now we're back with even more fucking problems. First off, getting devs interested in this wasn't easy at all. Building for this thing meant rethinking every part of the game design process from the ground up. With the Wii,
true.
You essentially just make a game that you would make on 360, but you have two extra inputs, like I said, a pointer click and a waggle. Maybe a jerk-off motion if you're feeling frisky, like John said.
No more heroes.
Yeah. But the Kinect was a different story entirely. UI design, menus, gameplay, storytelling, pretty much all had to be thrown out the window and rethought from the ground up.
Yeah. So let's repurpose.
You have nothing to fall back on.
Here's a quote from that Polygon article I mentioned earlier that sums it up better than I ever could.
Okay.
And I'll find the artist. I'll find the writer's name at the end, but it's a great article. In a game using a controller with standard button inputs, knowing whether or not someone presses jump is a relatively easy task. Did the button get pressed or not? On Microsoft Studios' Kinect launch title, Kinect Adventure, it took 2 years of engineering to get the jump input right.
Wow.
In addition, the Kinect is half technological innovation and half an answer to the Wii. Either way, its goal is pulling in new players. And what type of software do you need to pull in new players?
Probably more casual, family, kids-focused stuff.
Exactly. Casual, family, kid-focused software. Exactly.
Yeah.
But, as I said, and the guy on stage said at the E3, dev kits are out there. Some devs are kind of just completely ignoring the Kinect altogether. In fact, I would say most devs are completely ignoring the Kinect altogether.
Or some would I know even Mass Effect 3 had Kinect in it, but it's it's like some vocal, commands or something.
But,
I think Halo, the anniversary.
Yeah. But some devs answered the call enthusiastically.
The ones that wanted brownie points.
Now let me pose you a question, Randy. I'm making a new peripheral, and I want some family-friendly software to go with it. What company do I call?
Nintendo. Shit. Never mind.
This is where Rare comes in, right? No. Well, Is it harmonics? Because they're literally the only people that figured it out.
Peripheral-based family software.
Yeah,
Harmonix.
Yeah,
The Kings.
Harmonix
they
Studios.
really like were. Yeah.
Yep.
They all wore plastic crowns.
Here's the funny thing that I didn't know, though. You would think that if you were to guess, you would think that Microsoft was like, "Hey, Harmonix, Rock Band's pretty cool. Can you make a game that works with Kinect?" And they were like, "Sure, we'll do a dancing game or something, right?"
Yeah.
No.
Blow
So,
fucking that
according
Just
to
Dance.
according to
water.
CEO Alex Rogopoulos, the
Hey,
team was already
I met
working
him.
on a dancing game.
Really?
The
That's
initial
extreme.
idea for the dancing game was that you would buy stuff like straps, like you have with Kinect, the Kinect workout game, or not
Oh,
Kinect
wow.
workout game. Sorry, the Switch workout
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Switch
Ring Fit.
Ring Fit. Thank you. And you would put them on your arms and legs,
It would
and
just register.
they would have sensors built into them that were built by Harmonix because they have the connections to make hardware
Yeah.
because of Rock Band.
Kinect.
And this is 2009. Like the
Mhm.
music gaming scene was literally like worth over like it was like billions of
Exactly.
dollars. Yeah.
In fact, the first Dance Central was still published by MTV.
Oh, dance.
And-
Wow,
and
was
we're-
that MTV Games?
And
was
it came out
still-
before Rock Band 3 because Rock Band 3
Yeah.
was 2011.
That's true. No, 2010.
Oh, so it was right at the same time then.
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess it had to be because I knew
Dance Central.
Dance Central wasn't in
Yeah.
time for launch, but it was in the launch window.
No, it was the launch.
Wait,
Yeah,
that
it
was a launch
Yeah,
game?
I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
No shit.
I know that because I bought one.
that was
I
the
feel like I did
that was
too.
far and
unfortunately.
away the
Yeah.
the
So
best one.
even then, I think Harmonix kind of saw the blood in the water and was kind of just like, we're shoving a little bit too many peripherals out into the market, maybe. And they also couldn't really get their own sensors working. And then, like a godsend, right as they're about to ditch the project, Microsoft says, "Hey, we have a thing that senses motion. You have any ideas for that?" And then,
As a matter of fact,
like a match made in heaven,
you said there was going to be a lot of serendipity in this episode,
Yep.
and then
like
it
a
worked
match
out
made in
for 'em.
heaven, they unscrapped the project, got Kinect dev kits, and ended up making the best. I'm going to editorialize the best game for the Kinect,
Yeah,
Dance Central.
that series works.
Yes,
like
it's amazing.
and it's like not only that, but it actually like uses your body like like it's a good workout tool. Like they were
So-
still licensing music.
Was this? I'm
like for a
I'm
vast
assuming
catalog?
this is before Just Dance,
No.
or is it parallel?
No, so
Just Dance
Just
had
Dance-
just come out.
So Just Dance 1 was, I think, initially
We all
a
know.
Wii exclusive.
Yeah.
And it's also one of the worst rated best-selling games ever. Like, because
Yeah.
it's,
Oh,
because
okay.
in that, and not to talk shit on Just Dance, but it's like Just Dance is like karaoke in the sense of like, the movement is sort of secondary. It's just a platform.
Right.
Because how well you're performing in the game doesn't actually really reflect what you're seeing on screen. It's,
I mean, in those early stages, right?
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
it got
I-
more.
for a little while, but then I think once this craze ended, I think Just Dance is kind of back to the same sort of thing.
Now you can use phones and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
But
but I know that was super successful. So
Microsoft also went out and got a bunch of other studios to help make their, as Randy mentioned, their first party stuff, like Rare, who they own. Frontier
Yeah.
Developments, who would work on.
oh wow, Just Dance 1 was 2009.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right around.
I actually thought it might have been like 07 or 08. It was late 2009.
Mhm.
So
And Harmonix probably saw that and said, "We can do that better," and they did.
and they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have your first party Microsoft titles from Rare and other teams
Yeah.
that have partnerships. You also have your third party diehards like Ubisoft making their
I mean, that's when
games.
Ubisoft like they jump on.
Yeah.
Now, a Kinect Die Hard game. That'd be
Yeah.
pretty sick.
Yeah. Another
They
studio.
tried to make a few like adult Kinect games down the road. It's where you got like Rise of Nightmares and the
Oh
Silver
yeah,
Titan
that's
stuff. Yeah.
right.
They're
Yeah,
like-
I was always on that horror
Yeah.
shit because of Kristen.
Another studio that answered the call enthusiastically was Double Fine Studios.
Yes, they did a lot of like little download experiences, but
Mhm.
they were kind of cool. Like they were
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah.
They were sort of short like lived, but
There was another studio. They were another studio that was well suited because, as Double Fine's Drew Skillman puts it, The Kinect gives you a box to play in. So all you had to do, you had to be willing to go apeshit inside of that box, which is kind of the style of Double Fine development.
Yeah.
That's so
You
sick.
find the most charming like group of,
Really?
of people to like to
And
make
also,
this new, peripheral seem engaging. And
also, Double Fine is a company that is known for doing like internal game jams.
yeah,
And just making a bunch of prototypes
true.
and seeing what works.
and they have a pretty good history with Microsoft. In terms of
What a cool company
Yeah.
community.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
totally.
So Skillman, along with Patrick Hackett, got to work on prototyping minigames, some of which were family friendly and would end up being in Double Fine Presents Happy Action Theater.
That's what it was. Okay, I
Yes.
couldn't remember.
And the
name.
other ones were too, quote, lewd or, quote, vulgar or, quote, violent.
Did that ever
to
see
be
the
on the
light of
Kinect?
day?
No.
Oh man, if they just like did their own like Leisure Suit Larry or something, that'd have been hilarious.
There was,
I mean, they did Brutal Legend.
Yeah. No, there was like there was one game where they were like it was like you were the target of a bunch of snipers and you had to like avoid being shot. Or
Cool.
something. Yeah.
Cool. Can you imagine if like the Steam community had access to like say the Kinect blew up
Yeah.
and then the hentai game community would go fucking
Uh-oh.
nuts with this
Uh-oh.
game.
They already went nuts with VR, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
Okay. But with development underway, you know what comes with that? More
Problems.
wacky QA stories.
Oh.
Because it turns out that game dev for the Kinect turned out to be just as ruthless as the development of the actual hardware.
I bet.
Devs quickly discovered a number of problems, one of which was that the Kinect had a harder time detecting heavier set people.
Oh, I didn't know that.
As a heavier set person, I feel comfortable saying this. If you're too round, the game could not track your hips if you turned sideways, because it would think that your side profile was a normal person.
Oh.
Yeah. A lot of spaces didn't allow the Kinect to view the full entire body, which meant that people's feet were getting cut off, but that was part of the plan.
What? Being short pays off.
But it turns out that it's hard to detect when somebody jumps if you can't see their feet.
Yeah, or if you jump out of frame, which
Mhm.
did become a
Listen,
a-
2
an
inches off
issue.
the ground is still a jump. Stop it.
But game devs had a lot of banging stuff around to make jumping detectable when you couldn't see the whole body.
If you're live in a house or apartment that's able to get that noisy.
Yeah. There was also
What's that basketball game? The music. where
NBA baller beats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dribbling basketball to Interpol, and this is a real thing, by the way.
I'm almost visioning it in my head. Again, purple box makes it stand out.
We need to find a copy.
Yeah,
of that.
it came with a basketball, which was
then,
always deflated. Another big problem was actually part of Microsoft's pitch, as Randy mentioned when he was recapping the pitch video.
Yeah.
This thing was pitched to be used in a party setting with a bunch of people watching.
Oh, that can't pose any
Oh,
problems.
and if anybody
It's body
enters that
detection.
frame,
Yeah.
it like fucks the shit all up. Or if you have animals in your house or
Yeah.
kids, like
Okay,
you're-
so that's a
you're-
person walking across
Yeah.
on all floors.
If you're in a party setting playing a game, it's very easy to pass off a physical controller.
I
Yeah.
remember these problems
Yeah,
coming up when I
but
was doing it.
When you're in a party setting and you are the controller, who's the fucking controller? The Kinect doesn't know.
yeah, it's trying to recognize
can't-
a bunch of
You
faces.
can't all sit on a couch and lean together as you're steering the car because the Kinect can't figure out who the fucking controller
The amount of
is.
shooing I've had to do at other people and dogs, like
Yeah.
try.
No, there's player one just shrunk half in size. Oh no, that must be the child. Doesn't have
I
that.
have vivid memories of when we first got Fantasia. And,
Yeah.
and Sage would just walk in front of the camera, and it would start detecting his wagging tail as one of our arms, and we would start fucking up. Yep. Okay. This meant for a lot of testing in party settings. For Harmonix, this meant inviting a bunch of friends over to sign NDAs and have a night of fun with Dance Central.
Hell yeah.
For Double Fine, I love these guys. For Double Fine, this meant buying cardboard cutouts of Gandalf, Elvis, and Darth Vader to keep in the background.
Oh my god, it's so smart.
It's like when you try to take a picture with your iPhone, it thinks there's faces
Yep.
where there isn't. Yeah.
No, it's just detecting ghosts.
Yeah, that's
The other problem,
Speaking of,
the other Microsoft promise that would become a problem, as you mentioned before, was that we're making this thing kid-friendly.
Yeah.
So you got to test with kids.
And both in the motion stuff and voice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the exact case that affected me. It was like my son standing off in the back corner, and it's like, and then it just zooms to him, and that's why I brought up that example.
And you're like, get out of here.
Kicked him down the stairs.
And I tried to sum this up better than the Polygon article, but once again I failed because Polygon's got a bunch of great writers. So I'm just going to use a quote from them. Unfinished games are, of course, unfinished, and testing them requires playing through buggy builds that don't quite work right.
Your legs and arms
it's
get
not
tired.
necessarily a concept children understand or are sympathetic to when they want to play a video game. For Christy Fisher, game user researcher, working with children on the QA process feels like having to double as a preschool teacher or family counselor. Quote, I saw some tears and I saw some fights between siblings, and it was a little discouraging at times, she says. Another designer, speaking anonymously, says, I mean, kids are great. They'll try anything, but they'll tell you if it sucks. They don't have any filter. They're like, this doesn't work. It sucks. There are times when you'd be demoing games and nothing would be happening, and you would just be rendering the video from the perspective of the Kinect on a big TV.
I've been busting my ass on this build.
This is Double Fine Skillman says this. You'd be rendering the perspective of the Kinect on a big TV, and then kids would just charge it. They would just charge the TV. It was weird. Either way, these games are coming together. Development is coming along, and we're working on the manufacturing. We're working all that out. So, back to the marketing machine, which needs to keep a rolling with E3 2010.
All right, yeah, we didn't watch the Kinect stuff out of here, so give us a refresher, or a reminder of what that looked like.
So the conference I showed you guys the clip of was like it was like an hour and 40 minutes, and like 20 minutes of that was Project Natal. This one is an hour and a half, and about 50 minutes of that is Kinect.
Holy shit!
Jeez.
Yeah,
and they're all
Now, Project Natal is officially revealed as the Kinect, which, if you don't know, is a portmanteau of kinetic and connect. Kinetic means motion. Okay.
Got it, sure. Dude, we didn't.
Yeah, I just zoned out. My brain turned to mush.
We start out once again with a demo of the dashboard and all its media features. Hey, you can watch Netflix by swiping your hands.
You sure can.
And there's like a lot of quotes about like fumbling around in the dark for a controller is a thing of the past, which like, do they know their controller has a light on it?
Yeah, that really is the black and white infomercial, like fucking.
No longer.
Your controller has a built-in light. I can find it in the dark.
Are you a dipshit?
Next up
the product for you.
Is a very awkward planned video conference between two women where they talk.
Wait, live?
Yeah.
Like this wasn't a pre-record? Okay.
No, it was live. And they talk about their day, and the one woman's like, I'm on stage at E3, you want to watch a movie? And the other one's like,
no.
Sure. And then they watch a trailer for The Last Airbender. And then
the M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah. And then they make a joke about that 360 game that came out that had 5 achievements that were each 200 points. And, and then the one woman's like, you should play that because your gamer score sucks. And she's like, fuck you, and hangs up. I don't remember exactly how it happened.
This sounds great.
It's something like that.
And they were no longer friends.
Yeah. Then we come out. We get an ad for ESPN. 2 ESPN guys come out and talk about how much they like playing Madden or whatever. Then Kudo Sonoda's back, and he brings with him demos for 6 launch games.
Oh,
okay.
Smoking a joint. Yeah, just watch them or whatever.
All right. Does anybody want to try to see if they can guess what was demoed?
Okay, I think
you're probably way better.
All right. Well,
let me take my one shot. Connectimals. Okay.
That's one.
Right,
wait, was Connectimals the pack-in? No, Kinect Adventures.
That's 2.
Okay.
That was the pack-in. You're right.
Then Kinect Sports.
That's 3.
Okay.
Was Dance Central here?
That's 4.
Okay.
Oh, 2 more.
A racing. There was a racing game.
You remember what it's called?
It's just Kinect Racing.
Kinect Joyride. That's 5.
Yes.
Okay. Kinect Joyride.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the 3D blocker.
Nope.
No, because I think that was a part of one of the other ones.
Mm-hmm. That's part of Kinect Adventures.
Oh, okay. I do remember playing Kinect Adventures. Jeez, what else? Come on, let's think. What else? We got sports covered.
Was
we
there
got
a
driving.
fighting, like a boxing game?
There was, but that's part of Kinect Sports.
Okay.
Okay. That's a sport.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll give you a hint.
All right.
You're only missing one. It's an Ubisoft game.
Is something you're an assassin game?
Nope.
No.
Oh, was it a Rabbids thing?
We're before that.
Is it tied to a property? Or are they just like?
Nope.
This is getting way harder.
Yeah.
Could
All right.
be anything.
I might. Yeah.
Your last hit,
Fishing.
and then I'm going to give you the answer.
Fishing.
Okay.
It's also a fitness game.
Is it just like Kinect
Zumba.
Fitness?
Not
that's
not
a good
Zumba.
guess.
No. Your Shape Fitness Evolved.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right.
Because Shape Up was like a spiritual successor. To
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shape up.
So we get demos. We get demos where a little kid plays Connectimals and it's all cute and whatever.
Oh, is that the one where she's talking to the tiger?
Mm-hmm.
That demo is also a little like it goes on a bit too long. Kid actors.
Well, trust me, I watched this whole conference.
Right.
They all go on a bit too long. Okay. Keep in
50
mind, I said
minutes.
this is
Yeah.
50 minutes and there's
Yeah.
only 6 games.
Yeah.
Kinect Sports is then shown, and then Kinect Joyride looks bad.
Yo, hold
And
on. You have to tell me. Do you remember there was an inflatable raft that they were going to sell alongside Kinect Adventures?
Mhm.
Did they have that on stage there?
No,
Okay.
but they did play the raft game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was Kinect Adventures, and then we get a trailer for Your Shape, and then we get a bunch of people dancing to Dance Central. Then Phil Spencer comes on and says, "Hey,
That
we're
was a
not.
bunch of bullshit.
This isn't just launch. We're thinking beyond that." And we get a trailer for Kinect Star Wars, and we also get a trailer for Forza getting
What?
Kinect support.
Did that happen?
Okay.
Forza,
God, that would be. It's
say-
a racing sim. It'd be so hard.
I want to say Forza 4.
Oh, it was like an ad, like just a bonus thing.
Yeah, it was like a thing where you could like look around the car, but also you could steer.
Okay.
It was one of those games that had like the purple line. It wasn't
Yeah,
a full.
I was just about
yeah.
to say
Yeah.
that. So instead of the case being purple, which was Kinect only,
Yeah. It had the banner.
it had the banner, which
Yep.
was like also includes Kinect
Kinect
compatibility.
support,
Well, that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. Like Halo and even had that. And
Yeah.
Stuff. It was.
Wait,
Okay.
Halo had Kinect support?
Yeah. Anniversary did.
Oh,
Yep.
God.
You're a pretty
murder the
blue
Wii.
lady.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What
They're
have
gonna make
you
me
done,
play
Nintendo?
play Halo with the Kinect. No, it's Halo. You fucking
You
morons.
fucking people stupid.
Are you fucking people stupid? All right. From Giant Bomb,
Yeah.
by the way. Okay, so then Don Matrick comes out and closes out the show, and he announces
Pre-order now.
the slim Xbox 360,
Okay.
Oh,
250
yeah, that was that
gigs.
year.
That was that year. But no,
No price.
and
price
that's,
or release
and
date?
that's available today for $299.
Wait, the Xbox was?
Yeah,
Wow, they like pulled a Sega Saturn.
Mhm.
Okay.
but no release date and no price for the Kinect.
Mm.
And that's
Old rug
because,
pull.
well,
Yeah.
even Microsoft didn't know release date or price yet. Microsoft had initially set their sweet spot at $100.
Really?
Respectable. That
Yeah.
and I don't think that's what it ended up.
No,
being.
No.
$199, right?
No.
Whoa,
No.
that's up there.
Oh, okay.
$149.
That was my
Okay.
second guess.
It was at least bundled with the one game, but
But here's my favorite part.
that's up there.
Okay. So when you're making hardware, sometimes you have to be like, we could sell it for more, but we want people to buy it.
Yeah.
Then Microsoft held a mall tour
Oh, I've seen footage of this.
where they went
Yeah.
around to different malls.
They were like that, like in Times Square and stuff
Yep.
like that.
And they had people play it, and then they interviewed them. And of course, when you're interviewing idiots in malls, they go, "This is amazing. What's it cost? Like $800?"
Yeah.
And then
I mean, that's also the only footage you use. You know,
Yeah.
you don't interview some guys just like, I don't know, seem kind of stupid.
They would probably just take surveys and have different prices listed, and they'd ask people to check off what they would, expect.
How
this to
much would
cost,
you
or How much
pay?
would you pay?
Yeah.
yeah, it was more like how much do you think this costs or whatever.
Like $8,000.
So
My
Apparently-
body is the controller.
Microsoft was having a hard time justifying that $100 price point. The research data came back from this mall tour, and they went, "Okay, fuck that," and threw it out the door, and then said Kinect will cost $150. Now, the only reason they didn't go $199 instead of $149 was because the arcade edition still existed, and that was $199, and it would be, quote, weird for a peripheral to cost the same amount as the
I
console.
agree.
Yeah.
They're 100% right on that.
Well, I guess the arcade was what the core became, but
Yeah.
but also how much was the new iterate like
299.
300?
Mm-hmm.
That still looks weird. Of
does.
like
A
this
little
a
bit,
$200 controller next to the $300 console.
Right.
I think 150 is like a good sweet.
It's
Not
not.
Yeah.
Did they do
It's all right.
Did they do a console bundle?
Yes,
With the
so I'm
system.
getting to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So they still knew that 150, while people seemed willing to pay for it, wasn't exactly like their sweet spot.
Well, I mean,
So-
how much was a Wii? 250? 200?
Yeah, it was 250, I think.
Yeah.
So they decided, according to them, they decided to, quote, sweeten the pot by including Kinect Adventures in that. Although I feel like if you're making a peripheral, it should come with a game, just
Yeah.
like by
Yeah, I
default,
agree.
because
Yeah.
like,
Hell, look at it. Worked out with Wii Sports, right?
yeah.
Uh-huh. I think, did PlayStation Move do something? I mean, that was...
I
PlayStation Move had a
did it have
bundle,
like
yeah.
a game, or
I
did it
think-
have like a bunch of little?
I think
tech
there
demos?
was well, that's kind of what it was. I think it was also
No, there was
like a sports
there was a
thing.
sports game with like
Yeah.
archery and ping pong and stuff.
I think it had frisbee golf.
Oh,
Yeah.
Move. Okay, I'm thinking PS2 iToy for some reason.
Yeah.
Jeez.
In addition to the bundling in of Kinect Adventures, we also get a console bundle. This new
Right,
Xbox
there it is.
360, instead of coming with 250 gigs, now comes with 4 gigs. So there was no...
How much did you save? Well, I guess they're like, oh, the casual, like they're not gonna.
So I don't actually know if there was a separate version of this 4 gig thing, but it was the 4 gig new Xbox 360, a Kinect and Kinect Adventures, also for $299.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
Yeah.
$349 for some reason.
Yeah.
Alright.
So you're essentially, if you're planning on getting the Kinect I get, you're also getting a 360 for only 150, which isn't
Real quick,
bad.
not to go off topic, but you remember how much of a racket buying extra I mean, I know you do, but how much of a racket it was to
Storage.
get extra storage in those removable
hard drives.
hard drives?
I mean, it was pretty cool the way they just kind of like snapped in
No,
there, but
yeah.
they were pricey.
yeah, I
Like,
remember working at a game store and how much we would sell for them pre-owned. It was like
Yeah.
$80 for like a 60
So-
gig one.
That's how I got one. Was pre-owned.
So
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody about this recently, a little bit of a tangent. You have basically 3 schools of thought when it comes to expandable storage when it comes to video games. And I agree with you, but the Series X is making me realize that maybe Microsoft...
Well, now it's
is-
all just in the cloud if you play somewhere else as opposed to bringing your hard drive
is
over.
doing the work that you don't want to do, because there is a way to expand storage on the Wii, and that was just SD,
SD
cards.
cards.
Mhm.
But it
Same
had a
with the Wii
limit
U.
to how much it could.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
with the Wii U and same with the Switch, right? So Nintendo's thing is like expandable
Yeah. And then Sony went proprietary.
flash
Oh,
memory.
man.
Microsoft went proprietary, where they're like, you
That's
buy the
true.
hard drives from us, we swap them out, it's fine. And then
They were the last. I mean, the 360 is probably the last console with memory
Sony has
cards.
always done the thing where they're like, hey, you've built a computer, right? Why don't you take
Take it
apart
apart yourself.
Take it apart
Hell,
yourself and
that-
replace
that-
the hard drive.
What did that update for the PS5 just come out
Yeah.
like days
Yeah.
before?
Yeah.
So I
recording
don't
this?
I've maybe this is because I'm an adult that has disposable income now, but I've come around on the overly expensive removable memory because it I don't feel like taking an
Well,
Xbox
I mean,
apart.
the PlayStation thing right now is so colossally
Yeah.
fucked and confusing and may not
Yeah.
even benefit you that Microsoft's little M2 as
Mhm.
It's
as
ease of use.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, ultimately, I
they're not
watched
cheap, but
when
that
they
is so much better of a solution.
when they put the update out for the PlayStation 5.
yeah,
I'm not tech savvy, but
I'm not gonna do that.
I look at that and I go, do I really care that much?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just delete a game and
That's how I feel.
reinstall it, or
I guess we're lucky enough to have fast enough internet that it's like,
Right.
but you're right. It's like I'm never fucking
But
taking that thing apart.
it serves a purpose,
Yeah.
and apparently the actual doing of all that is very easy. So
You know, it's easier.
yeah,
Yeah. Also, like the 360 hard drives were a little ridiculous. The 220 for the 1 terabyte thing,
Mhm.
it's a lot, but like
it is proprietary.
for how fast that SSD is, it's
Right.
not the worst.
Right.
Yeah. And apparently it's like
I mean, and
instantaneous.
that came
when it's
out-
plugged in.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That came out on launch.
Yeah.
Right.
It did.
So that was not a
Yeah.
year later. So
Yeah.
talking to you, jerks.
Okay.
Fucking
So,
Call of Duty. The next
we
Call of
didn't know
Duty is
it was-
gonna be like 250 gigs or some shit.
We didn't know it'd be such a
Oh.
big deal.
I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
We also have a release date. November
Ooh.
4th, 2010.
Okay, I knew it was holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, the release date is out, the price is out, and marketing is in full swing. But we're not
As it
marketing.
do.
We're not marketing to gamers. Fuck them and their stupid, shitty Mountain Dew and Doritos. They can go fuck themselves. We're marketing to the rest of America.
This is where it all began.
Um,
The downfall.
So they did a co-marketing deal with Pepsi because I guess they couldn't get Coke. They did a
No, Coke's blue in the whole Sony thing.
Oh yeah, okay.
Gotta go.
No, Coke's red.
Coke's red. That's Nintendo.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Mountain Dew is the Xbox soda. 'cause
Right.
It's
green.
and that's Pepsi. So yeah,
Okay.
it makes sense.
Wow. I just.
What about Pepsi Blue?
That's Sony.
Oh wait,
I
that's
drink
already-
that every time
Yeah,
I
see,
play
you
my
did the same
I
PlayStation.
thing.
did. Fuck.
Every time I play my PlayStation, I drink Pepsi Blue.
And
Every time you play your Switch, you drink
It's
Coke,
Coke.
and every time you play your Xbox,
you drink Mountain Dew or Monster,
Mhm.
interchangeable.
And then,
when I
and then for PC, it's balls. It has
Yeah.
to be.
Of course.
Sold at Microsoft.
And when I play my Google Stadia, I drink
Bleach.
I was gonna say Everclear, but Bleach is better.
Nice.
All right.
Oh shit.
They also had a co-marketing deal with Oprah, who gave out a bunch of Kinects on her show.
Were they
Look
all under
under
the
your
chairs?
seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
You get a Kinect. You
They
get a
also
Kinect.
it was also featured in
I don't have
InStyle.
a fucking Xbox.
Yeah, where do I plug this
Oh
in?
no, it was the bundle. It was
Oh,
the bundle.
okay, yeah.
She does not skimp.
Yeah, no, she doesn't. It was featured in InStyle magazine as well as People magazine, and there
Jeez.
were even flash mobs of people dancing around New York City with
Yeah,
Kinect
What?
shirts on.
Please stop.
God.
I mean, they are doing all the right things.
Yeah.
They're reaching out to that audience that they don't already have. So this is all.
No,
this all makes sense.
You're right. Yeah.
And did
Dollars
it
well
work?
spent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
course.
But before we get
was
to
a
that,
hot item.
time for a game.
Ooh.
I have the list of launch titles, and I have their Metacritic scores.
So the 6 at E3, those were all confirmed launch titles.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so let me go down those 6 again
Yeah.
in case people don't remember them. Kinect Adventures, Kinectimals, Kinect Sports, Kinect Joyride, Your Shape Fitness Evolved, and Dance Central.
Okay.
All right. Well, naturally, Dance Central's at the top.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. We got the rest of the lineup.
Okay.
So we have Game Party in Motion,
Okay.
Fuck,
I remember that.
I
Yeah, I
don't-
remember Game Party.
EA Sports Active 2 Fitness, The Biggest Loser Ultimate Workout,
Yep. Oh god.
Dance Masters.
Okay, this was the one I got
Is that a
confused
rip
with.
off of?
Dance
It-
Masters was made by the DDR team.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was Dance
They deserve
Extreme.
better.
It was Dance Extreme,
Oh, it was. So
But-
I'm not confused. I'm just getting titles different.
but they
I messed up.
apparently changed the name to Dance Masters. I don't
Oh,
know,
man.
because I was
Why do I
googling Dance
remember?
Extreme and couldn't fucking find it.
Did Konami publish
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it was
Okay.
Konami.
Wasn't Dance Extreme an actual DDR
Yeah,
game?
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's why.
It was, yeah.
Uh,
But then why the fuck would you? All right,
I don't
never
know.
mind. It's not
Dance
Zoom-
Masters is better.
Zumba Fitness joined the party.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got one.
Yeah.
Motion Sports,
God,
Motion sports.
so much activity.
Deca Sports Freedom,
Where's my single
Made that
player
up.
role playing game?
Adrenaline Misfits.
That's not it.
What?
Fighters Uncaged,
That I remember.
and Sonic
'Cause they
Free
made it-
Riders.
Ugh.
Wait, Free Riders? Is
Yeah.
that just a version of Sonic Riders?
Yes.
That uses
For Kinect.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to scale these
yeah.
top to bottom.
That's-
I think an over under might be.
All
a
right,
better
yeah,
choice.
over under might be. Yeah, that's a lot.
We'll do 50.
50?
Higher or
Over-
lower?
Higher than wait, the Metacritic score 50?
Yeah.
You have all of them right
That's
there.
already a pretty low baseline, and at
I
least
feel like
in
we
how
could. I
video
feel like
games
we could
scale.
split the.
No, I
difference
think
on
we
these
could
pretty
too. We just say it's like in the green or in the yellow, or but
Oh, I'd have to look up. What do you know what the number is?
I
for-
do. Yeah, if it's anything 70
70
or above is green.
well. Yeah,
No. I think
Right?
it's
70
80. I think it's 80. 75?
75. I think.
Is it 75?
75 and
Six
then
I know under 60 is red.
100 to 75 is green.
Right.
74
right.
to 50 is yellow
Yes.
and 49 to 0 is red.
Okay.
Okay.
So this
So
is
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
this is basically the same thing, but you're going to try and guess the
Man,
green
you got
ones as well.
51 and be yellow. That's
Okay.
generous.
So let's go down the list one more time,
Yeah.
and you'll each give me an answer for
Okay.
color.
Okay. This is
Kinect
super
Adventures.
confusing. Kinect Adventures. I'm gonna think yellow.
I'm also going to say yellow.
Yellow, 61.
Okay.
Connectimals.
61 is not great.
Connectimals. This could go either way. I'm gonna say yellow again.
Yeah, me too.
74.
Ooh,
right
really?
on the edge.
Made it.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
I was expecting that to be lower.
Yeah, I was too.
Kinect Sports.
I'm going to say green. It was rare.
Yellow.
Yellow. 73. Right on the edge again.
Dang.
Kinect Joyride.
Red.
Red.
Yellow.
Oh.
52.
Oh,
right on the
no.
edge. Your Shape Fitness Evolved.
I want to say red on this.
I kind of want. I want to say red as well.
73.
Oh my
Yellow.
gosh, they were killing it.
Dance Central.
With
green.
Yeah,
That's like in the
absolutely.
80s.
82.
80.
Yeah,
That's actually a little low.
that's a gimme.
It is the highest rated.
Oh,
Well,
so
I
now
know
we
it's
have
I know
reference.
I know it's the highest rated Kinect game, but
Mhm.
I think even maybe Dance Central 2 and 3 might even be higher.
Now we have a reference point.
We-
doesn't
yeah,
go
we
above
know
82.
we know that's gonna be like the only.
It doesn't go
fucking
above
grade.
82.
There's a
so-
7-point differential we'll work with on green.
Yeah. Game Party in Motion.
Oh man,
If you don't know, this is like darts and shit.
yeah, it's like a bunch
Yeah.
of.
I'm gonna
beer
say red.
sports. I'm gonna say yellow.
Red, 33.
Wait, woof.
We're even.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Oh, are you keeping score?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, good.
we're
'cause
just
I'm not.
even.
We're
I'm
tied.
going based off
Yeah.
of over and under.
Okay. EA Sports Active 2 Fitness.
EA Sports Active 2 Fitness.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Yellow, 68.
Right.
Biggest Loser Ultimate Workout.
Red.
Yellow, 68.
What?
Damn it. 68?
68?
Mhm.
More than
God.
they're packing.
I guess for the time,
Dance
Biggest Loser was big.
Masters.
Dance Masters.
Red.
You seemed very sure. Now you're kind of going to persuade me on
Well,
this one.
I mean, if I'm looking,
So
I'm trying to look at through the lens of people at that time
Central-
had Dance Central as a point of comparison.
Right. You suckered me, Red.
Yellow.
God damn it.
Should have trusted my
63.
heart.
Sorry.
Zumba Fitness. Join the party.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Red.
Oh,
Shit!
42.
Uh.
Motion Sports.
Red. That game sucks.
If you are so sure,
I played it at a Best
I'm going
Buy.
to go red.
Red.
Yeah.
40. Yeah. Deca Sports Freedom.
Don't know what that is.
No,
Yellow.
Oh man. I have a chance to steal.
You do.
Red.
This is the lowest rated Kinect launch
Fuck
game.
Yes. I'm ahead.
Red with a 26.
Oh
Dang,
man.
that's almost historic for the console. That's
Mhm.
bad.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Adrenaline Misfits.
Yellow.
Red.
Yellow.
Oh,
50 on the dot.
Yeah.
we're tied up again. Dang.
It all comes down to.
Fighters Uncaged.
I'm gonna say red, but only because I know that Xbox One version was awful.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah, red.
32 red.
Yes.
That was. Oof.
And here's
is a-
what could potentially be the tiebreaker.
All right.
Sonic Free Riders.
Yellow.
I can't go green. I got yellow.
Red.
No,
Oh,
you
what?
cursed us, Sonic.
47. Right.
So
right at
we
the
have
edge.
one
We have one.
Rotten Tomatoes confirmed fresh game out of this
Yes.
whole fucking.
Dance Central is the highest at an 82. Most of them seem to hover around high 60s to, well, like 70 to 40. And then you have your bottom of the barrel ones like Motion.
Okay.
But when you look at video game grading, that's
It's
Yeah,
low.
that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just anecdotal. The Zumba. I remember having to pedal this, and I'm pretty sure the Zumba Wii version maybe came with the strap, but I remember people
I remember that
coming
too.
in and asking for
Because
this
the
game,
box
and
was
the
thicker.
box.
That's
Yeah,
the
we had
only
to get the
reason that I
boxes.
knew.
We had to make sure the strap was in there and everything. So I'm remembering the Wii version of it, but I remembered the Zumba game. That's why I remembered the Zumba game.
I
Because
might have bought my Kinect from you.
You might have.
Wait, really? I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I
Because Game Crazy was around it.
I mean, are we?
Content, right?
Do we get into that at this part of our first? Or
No.
Okay.
We're going to do sales, then we'll do that.
All right.
Okay, so game number 2.
I think out the gate it did probably sell like.
Yeah, so game
I
number
bought
2.
one.
Yeah.
I have sales units for the end of 2010
Mm-hmm.
and then the end of the fiscal quarter, March 2011.
Gotcha.
Okay.
alright.
So we're going to do Price is Right rules for this, and you're going to guess
November.
how many, with that stellar lineup in mind, how many Kinects did they sell? We'll go end of
Ooh.
2010. So by the end of the holidays.
I'm trying to take into consider marketing. I'm trying to take into consideration the success of the Xbox as it's a 360.
I want to say 15 million.
Okay.
Man, that's way higher than I thought. So this is
It was a waggle generation, man.
end of 2010, you said.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 2 months, roughly.
It would have been November, December, yeah.
I'm going to go 10 million.
You both went over.
Oh, did we?
5?
8 million.
Oh.
Okay.
The Kinect sold 133,000 units a day for the entirety of launch to the end of 2010.
That's still good.
Yeah.
I think my I was clouded by the end
Yeah.
like the final results of that thing.
Totaling 8 million Kinects by the end of 2010 and then 10 million by the end of the fiscal quarter 2011.
Okay.
And they also sold 10 million retail Kinect games as well by the end of that.
Really? Because I was curious what their attachment was on.
So that's one game per sale.
Yeah.
If you
attach on.
that does not I'm assuming that does not include Kinect Adventures.
Yeah, there's no way.
So
I mean, Nintendo
on
has touted
average,
Wii Sports numbers.
so they're touting this like we've sold 10 million games. On average, everybody who bought a Kinect got Kinect Adventures and one other game, most likely Dance Central
Yeah.
or Kinect Sports.
Hmm.
So
Not Deca, that's for sure.
So let's get into it a little bit about these sales, and then we'll talk about our experience.
Okay.
So they forgot the fucking Wii problem. Everybody that copied the Wii forgot the fucking Wii problem, which is that people bought it for Kinect Sports and then didn't buy any other fucking software.
Yeah, really, this really does keep happening.
And the
over
same
over
thing
again.
happened with the Kinect. The Kinect sold well, but there are 60 million 360s at this point sold. Okay?
What's that percentage of like?
It's like roughly
20%.
Wait.
No. 18, 17%? 10
Yeah.
million
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of
See,
60 million.
I knew the
Something like that. 16.
the three. Like I guess I was again
An
thinking
eighth is what I
lifetime
meant.
for the 360, and we're in 2010, which is 5 years.
Yes.
But-
So the 10 million people that you've already sold this to aren't buying games, and the 50 million of the other people who own your console aren't buying the Kinect.
Right.
This makes getting the already hard task of getting people to develop games for this even harder.
Mhm.
Because your Activisions, your EAs, they'll make their fitness games, but they're not gonna.
Yeah, they'll rely on the
yeah.
sure bet.
Yeah,
That
they'll-
if there's
they're-
somebody that's buying this, it's
It's-
most likely for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
And
VR
it's
problem
too
too. It's
risky.
like you're
Oh, the chicken and egg thing
Yeah.
of like there's
You're-
not enough software, but also why would
people make software for it?
if there
Because
aren't enough? Yeah.
you can sell potentially 60 million copies of a game or 10 million copies of a game if it's
Yeah.
like perfect and everybody who owns one buys it. Which
Yeah.
one are you going to go for?
The upside.
point.
There are a few other small studios that are still working on Kinect games. In addition, the bigger studios, like I said, are making sequels. Like the EA Sports Active Fitness game wasn't the last EA Sports Active Fitness game.
I think there was other Zumbas and
Your Shape Fitness
Right.
Evolve was not the last Your Shape Fitness game, but
there's Dance Central follow-ups.
there's
They're
more
solid,
Dance
yeah.
Central follow-ups and stuff. Double Fine has still not put out any of their stuff. Happy Action Theater was 2012.
Did that get a physical?
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was like a budget title.
In
I don't
addition,
know.
they did like a Sesame Street game and a bunch of other
Oh,
things.
the Once Upon a Monster.
Yep.
Was that it? Yeah.
But
they really are a crazy studio.
most of your studios, like your Forzas and your Halos, are being forced by Microsoft to add in like voice recognition or something. And like Skyrim made it so you could yell Fusroda and
Jeez.
but like other than that,
Mm.
like this thing is like kind of dead in the water, even though it sold really well and was deemed a success. So now,
Yeah, because it was just a flash in the pan, really, and then
Sales apparently
Keeping it
tapered
sustainable
off.
was-
Seriously, yeah.
let's go around the room and talk about our experiences with the Xbox 360 version of the Kinect.
I mean, Sean, I feel like you should go first because my experience with 90% of my history with the Kinect was in your old place.
Yeah, I mean, 90% of my experiences was showing it off or just like showing people it and then
Yeah.
kind of just wait until somebody new came over to show it off.
I think we had like one, alcohol-fused night of enjoying it.
Most likely.
And
I mean, I remember Kinect Adventures was cool. I mean, it was
plugging the holes in the thing with the water coming in.
Right, yeah. It was definitely a cool idea, and it was like fun. But for me, I don't know.
Not a lot
it's
of
just
depth
it much like the sales. It kind of fell off pretty quick. Yeah, I don't.
Did you play it with like Kristen or Tyler? Like, was Tyler old enough to?
No, he was. Yeah, he was a
youngling.
Yeah, he was spectating.
Yeah,
and seeing what he was like. What is this dude doing? It was very short lived as far as playtime went. You know, I was definitely like, I think I got convinced by the manager that worked at the store. He was like, dude, this is gonna be cool. It's gonna be crazy. And I wish
everything.
I wish I just let him buy it and play it over his place. But yeah, I do.
Hey, you gotta know firsthand sometimes. And
right. That was definitely the experiment for me.
Which games did you pick up? I vividly remember it. I mean, besides the pack-in, you did have sports.
Adventures in Sports.
Adventures in Sports.
It was pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, those two games.
Okay.
Maybe one more that I keep reference or bringing up Connectimals because I just remember being like, who is this for?
Yeah.
What is
I don't
the
even know.
actual
I don't
contents
know
here?
what the game was with that.
I think it was just like Nintendogs with a Kinect.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So unfortunately, very short lived.
I think that I was most caught off guard by the sign in and UI system because it's
that was cool.
Yeah, but it's so one of the things that I thought Dance Central did the best was when you navigate through the menus, their UI was designed in such a way to swipe rather than to hold. Because like you remember a lot of Kinect stuff, and even the baseline, like the BIOS for the 360 was like putting your hand up and then having the little ticker go around.
Yeah,
like the stop,
right. I remember that.
And it took a little bit too long.
Right.
And then at least the vocal stuff for us didn't work for shit, but there was also like 8 people in your room all talking, you know, in your living room. So it's like that.
Yeah, it's the detection not doing a great job and picking up a person in the background, pausing the game, having to recalibrate you and your position.
Didn't something break at your house? I remember.
I'm sure.
I think a glass or a bottle or something. Like I remember us having to stop a game because somebody misread how much room.
Right.
Like,
most likely. I think it was just like pulling the coffee table back rather than moving it out of the way.
Yeah.
I do remember playing it and having to move it out of the way and stuff. So.
Or it was like somebody hit a light, maybe.
Probably.
It was like a light. Like there was a light fixture, I think, in your old
something
like
somewhat close to like a Wii related injury.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's about the extent of it. There was that game, Rise of Nightmares. That always, when it came out and I was looking at it on the shelf, I was always like, man, I should give this a shot.
It was ambitious. It was trying something.
And I think it was like $50 at launch. So
we should do this. So you have my 360 Kinect.
I do?
Mm-hmm. It was in the box when my sister gave it me.
Oh, yes. Okay.
We should buy Rise of Nightmares and a bunch of these other games and like play them one day.
Yeah,
Child of Eden?
Child of Eden's great.
That's the
the Res people.
Yeah, well, I can't think of his name, but who did Luminesce and Tetris Effect and stuff like that.
There were definitely like to that point.
There were people trying stuff. I do remember. I think I don't remember if it was a PAX or if it was a GameStop or Best Buy display. But didn't you and Andrew play Steel Battalion?
I think so.
And I remember being very excited for that.
Yeah.
And also being
disappointed.
Yeah, or wrong. Because that was kind of a novel concept of like you played that game with motion sensing but also sitting on a sofa. Yeah. So you'd be like lean up to get out of your tank mech and lean back in, and then like you would put your hands up to your eyes to mimic binoculars and you'd have to pull stuff down like you're operating a tank. It supposedly didn't
I feel like there's
work for shit, but it was.
I don't know about you guys, but for me, there's two things when I'm purchasing a game
And that
or
had the high five, I think.
interested in purchasing a game is replayability and fulfillment of purchase. So how satisfied I am with spending full price or used price or secondhand price, whatever.
Yeah.
And then how much playtime I can actually get out of it. And one of the things I think that scared me away from all of the Kinect games.
Well, that's like reliving some of the Wii stuff.
Right. I mean, unless you're using it for fitness, which there's your replayability.
Well, that's why not on this episode, but we'll get into the Xbox One stuff another time. But it's like the majority of what like my interactivity with the Kinect was through that, and maybe just because it was forced upon me, it was bundled in.
And we will get into that.
Yeah. But it was like there were experiences I thought that was trying. It was stuff like D4 and all that. But
VR.
Yeah, but the last thing I will say, and Fantasia, as brought up earlier, was that Austin did we play Kinect Star Wars at your house?
No, I never owned Kinect Star Wars.
Oh, really?
I played that, and I don't remember where or when
Definitely
or why. It may have been a PAX, but no, I feel like I don't remember when that
a little bit more
came
intimate than that, huh?
I don't know. I did. There was a display at a Best Buy, because the first time me and the Kinect hung out was at your place, but I think the only other time was through the Best Buy closest to us used to have a little caged-in section for motion games, which is where I got to try out the Move, and they had Wii stuff, and I played motion sports there, and I also played, I think, that Fighters Uncaged game, which are maybe two of the worst from that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Not a good experience.
I played it the day it came out. I was invited. I had a friend in college. His name was Nikolai, and he was like the one.
Played Watch Dogs with Nikolai.
Yeah, he was the one person who had like his own apartment and his own living room, and had the room for a Kinect.
No coffee table.
Yeah, so he bought one, and I went over there and played Kinect Adventures, and I played Kinect Sports, and I went, "This is cool." I fell for the trap of like I played it for 10
in a short
minutes
sitting with other
and
people.
I was like, "This is cool," and then I didn't realize that 10 minutes is pretty much all you get out of it.
Yeah.
So then when I went home for winter break that year, I went and bought a Kinect, and I bought Dance Central.
Your family also
and I bought Kinect Sports.
Did you pass down one to them, or did?
Yeah, that's my Kinect I gave to my sister.
Okay, the one that's back here now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Can't get away from it if you tried.
But I gave it to her so she could do fitness shit. But
hey, that Xbox Fitness channel,
that's why success in that. Not that. No, like your shape and Zumba. But that's why I didn't play. That's why I kind of want to like go on Mercari or eBay and just buy Rise of Nightmares and like Fable the Journey and Steel Battalion Heavy Armor.
Do you know that is the only way to like that those games can be played?
Yeah, and I'm sure they all suck, but like
probably, but
yeah,
you know, it's still a chapter of gaming that like you sort of want to know from like.
I had a few nights on that winter break, that looked kind of like their pitch video, where like me and my sister were playing.
I played that Joyride game at the Best Buy too. That was bad.
Me and my parents were playing Dance Central and Sports, just like with the Wii, and then that faded after a couple days, and then I brought my 360 Kinect back to college and didn't have enough space to actually use it, and then I gave it to my sister and didn't play much after that.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that was consistent through me was at random friends' houses, or when I was doing the stuff with harmonics up in Boston was Dance Central. Like I play tested 3 and
great.
Yeah.
All right. And that is where we will leave it for
today.
So
to be continued.
This isn't going to be a multi-parter. Like the next episode we put out will not be Kinect Part 2.
It's an anthology. It's like the Acclaim.
Yeah, we're gonna
THQ.
We're gonna take the month of October, do some Halloween spooky stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna take the month of November and do some anniversary stuff. We're gonna take the month of December and do some game awards and Game of the Year stuff. And then I imagine we'll probably be back. We'll probably all be back in this room sometime at the beginning of next year to revisit the Xbox 360 Kinect and the future of the Kinect beyond that.
We should try and find some stuff to play before we come back
That's what I was
in.
saying,
and then,
yeah.
And gather, because I feel bad in that, like, this whole episode, I was like built in my head all these things I wanted to say about my time playing it, and I'm like, it's a bit of a blur.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel the same way. As I bought it and owned it, set it up.
Yeah.
It's like once I think got unhooked, I was like, do I really want to plug it back
it's like
in?
I'm like my memory now is just those like Wii and Wii U vibes from those pitch trailers, and then it's just like cloudy of jumping around a room, I guess.
But yeah.
On sometimes it.
That's it for today. That's your story of the development of the Xbox 360 Kinect.
Yes. And we'll also not just go through sort of its relationship with the Xbox One and the role it played in their launch and war against the PlayStation 4, but
war against themselves.
But there's a lot of more interesting things to explore with the Kinect, and in terms of how like
usability.
Yeah, I referenced this a bit in the beginning, but just sort of like there were a lot of very like intelligent and creative people that found ways to utilize that technology.
We'll cover that all on the back, and we'll also on the back half of this thing, and we'll also cover a lot of like the Kinect is weird because it went on to gain this life of its own in other uses.
Yeah.
But also the people who worked on the Kinect would also go on to contribute a lot to the evolution of games in different ways, like things like VR and stuff.
We
like
should
that.
check out when they tried to chase the hardcore market with just those features are still built into those games, right? Like if we busted out a copy of like Ghost Recon or Mass Effect or Halo just to see how
I'm curious
that
what
worked
the
in action.
List.
Yeah,
I'm curious what big titles got compatibility updates.
All right, and
Downfall
also
of Rare.
I'll say one more time. Polygon article: All the money in the world couldn't make Kinect happen. Written by Blake Hester.
Very nice.
All right.
January 14th, 2020. I was wrong.
Recent.
This is from not that long ago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Last question, then we'll do our plugs here. Did the 360 Kinect camera have infrared, or was that more?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
An infrared camera, a depth. The depth camera was infrared.
Okay, well, I guess that is how that tied into stuff with like doctors and engineers. And
and then an RGB
robotics
camera.
and ghost hunters. That was like an affordable version of that. But okay. So yeah, if you're interested in more Kinect stuff and want to hear me talk about Paranormal Activity 4,
yeah. All right, yeah. So
then keep an eye out.
So if you want to hear more about the 360 or the Xbox One, we go into the Kinect a little bit on the Xbox
The military
One
even
episode.
comes back.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a lot more to say about the Xbox One Kinect. Maybe just because it's more fresh in my brain.
You can find all those episodes on hotbuttoncast.com, and if you're excited to hear more about the Xbox One Kinect, you can subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or whatever else you get your podcast. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at hotbuttoncast, and keep an eye on those feeds for that episode. But yeah, that's it. Podcast off.